Come on. Okay. So someone talk.
Hello, hello.
Someone.
All right, that just peaked, or not peaked, but it flowed. Okay. So.
As I say, it peaked. That's not good.
All right. So, hello and welcome to High Road, an adventure where we tonight delve into the mysteries of the Ischydonian nights. Vampires about, oh me, oh my, watch out, they want to suck your blood. So, when last we left our heroes, they had defeated one kill, one capture, one escape, defeated the Triumvirate heading up a shadowy organization known as the Daughters Acalaris, named after a famous progenitor who they met while letting her out of a coffin. There seems to be other vampire activity going on these nights, however, so with the affairs finished in this northern city, they're going to do a little handoff with Woby Salt here, seemingly the spy master of the ruling house Kirkos, and move on to your next objective.
Maybe we could take a nap first before we move on to the next objective.
Yes, indeed. A nap would
While the
be...
iron strikes hot, let's go.
Sorry, go on.
So, yeah, I think that we get back into it here, as, you know, the Galgairs, these hounds of heaven, aglow with radiant light, white and black spikes weighing in the wind, sort of, you know, growl in this direction, and you have Markarian, the vampire who you captured unalive, here, to engage in some negotiation, and Woby Salt. Yeah, I deliberately did that for this map.
Okay.
Wait, did you say we had one got away, one got killed, one got captured?
Mm-hmm.
I thought we technically had two of the three things captured because Zion has one in a vial.
Yes,
And one got
that's
eaten to death.
That's the captured one. The Galgairs vacuum suctioned Phomos.
Yeah, one. Okay, yeah.
And one literally got away.
Unless the Galgair have really bad indigestion and just like barf up Phomos and like a third of it comes out.
Is that?
Do we just like wait
Is
for like
is
a
that
few
something we
hours?
have to worry? Yeah, I was gonna say, is that something we have to worry
Maybe
about?
take you for a walk.
Do we have to take the Galgar to a vet?
Yeah, you gotta.
We gotta pump into their stomachs, you know.
Sorry, go on.
You know, I mean, honestly, vampire ash has a lot in common chemically with chocolate, so like, you might not have been engaged in responsible pet ownership.
Oh no.
But yeah, so the group is all assembled with Woby Salt here. And he's happy, he's absolutely chuffed to see you. He says, hello. So, it seems that you have done a smashing job shortly after your arrival. He gesticulates and you hear the sound of as yet more glass gets shattered by the machine of no name. So it seems you've had a bloody morning's affair.
Yeah, you could say that.
Come. I'm sure that we can have all this out over some roasted zucchini back at the palace.
Is it lunchtime or dinner time?
It's brunch time.
It's still morning, my friend.
What the fuck is brunch? Excuse me?
Right, Tedu just eats all the time, so he just doesn't have the concept of meals. Dang.
No, what do you mean? No, brunch isn't real. What are you talking about? Brunch is just a fancy term that rich people use to eat during the early lunch.
Yeah.
I mean, Woby Salt says, well, as it should happen, my dearly beloved is quite wealthy. So, if you'd care to join me for an early lunch.
Tento 2's woke for this shit.
Tento
Is
just
brunch like? Is brunch like a?
Tento absolutely screaming "Stay woke" at like some Ischydonians enjoying a mimosa, like and some fried zucchini at like in the 11 a.m. range.
Wait, so is brunch like a time you have a meal, or is it like having breakfast food for lunch?
Yes, it is. It
What do you mean?
is
Yes, that's
No,
that's,
no, it's
it
both
was
those
an A or
things.
B question.
Both
No, it's
conditions
both
fulfill the
those
term.
things. Yeah, no. I'm
Will be
not-
salted.
No, but,
I'll
like,
be
you
happy
can't
to
have-
introduce you.
See, this is why I say brunch is only for rich people. See, it doesn't make sense.
I don't
And people
understand.
And people don't care if it doesn't make sense. It's
Brunch
fine. Look,
is
you
a
don't need to
meal
understand it.
for the consumption of mimosa.
Yeah.
What
see?
are mimosas?
It's champagne orange juice.
The champagne.
You guys
Champagne.
make a drink just to have at a certain time of day. What?
I'm unclear as to whether this is in or out of character.
No,
Half
this is
and
in
half at this
character.
point.
This is in character.
Maybe it's just a ritual they do here.
Sorry.
This seems very inefficient. Like, what if what if I want one of
Lonnie
these, like,
here is having,
mimosas
a-
at like dinner time?
Sorry, our friend Lonnie here is having like a crisis at the moment. Look, can we
Wait,
just
Lonnie,
go back
you
upstairs? Make sure we bring the points at the coffin. Bring that thing up there too.
I thought he was waiting until nighttime too.
Oh,
I
are we
guess that's a
not
long
dragging him?
wait.
Yeah. Why not just drag him now? I'm sure they have a room that's not.
Lonnie's
doesn't
gonna
have many
try to like.
windows.
Lonnie's gonna like try to peek in the coffin. It's like, are you okay to try to move the coffin?
Mercarian's kind of like, and Will Be Salt says, "I assure you, we'll make sure no daylight."
Yeah, see, they're fine. They'll be fine. Let's get shit done. We still have more work to do. I just like to think we hear another glass get broken. Zion, I think your robot's done breaking things. I don't think he needs to do that anymore.
So, yeah, there's a fuck ton of hoplites who spread out. The guards restore a semblance of order to the desiccated Undercroft, and the Thelaton himself is overwhelmed by the events here. Verdnos has, fallen to his knees to confess his deeds, and Wilby Salt arranges to have Mercarian taken up and invites you all over for a nice brunch back at the Sunrise Palace, where I presume you join him.
Yeah, of course.
See if you guys are already here, and if I have to delete your... yeah, I do, okay. Ignore your doppelgangers, they're exploding. You arrived here, and it is not night, but rather... glorious, glorious day. So, here you are. And you are once more in the allodial presence of Eliana Kirkos. Just, enjoying some grapes, reclining in the sun. You don't see your token on the map?
It's because of height.
Oh,
There
Yep.
you go.
I think it's just while you guys are loading, if I place your character, like it's not happy with me.
Oh.
You may want to plus 30 yourselves for other maps, but this one shouldn't fuck you on it.
Okay.
Do you want to be at elevation 0?
Yeah.
Yeah, elevation 0. So yeah, you come and many guards stand at attention. There is a great row, and Woby Salt, claps his hands, and guards are summoned. Tomas, Himari, and Eliana are here. Eliana enjoys a nice amphora of wine with a bit of water dropped in. As she sips from a bowl, she bids you to come hither and says, "Come, tell me of your successes this morning. I hear that you have already wet your blades. I see I have not hired those who would slack in duties."
Yeah. It was a little unclear if you wanted a complete um I don't know the right word for this. Discrepancy the whole time. But we saw a big opportunity to take out some major people, or at least who we believe are major people.
I appreciate the initiative. I want you to find and, if necessary, remove any such malefactors. Ubisoft informs me that you've actually captured some of their leadership. That will go a long way to discovering exactly what's going on. And has explained the circumstances surrounding the mists at night around the Sun Temple. This has gone a long way towards changing things. Although we do need to take pensive cares. After all, if you are widely known as my agent, it's possible the enemy will see you coming. Tell me, did any of your foes escape? We did lock down the temple complex and hem in some lesser vampires and undead.
Unfortunately, one leader did escape.
It is unfortunate. Well, I'm sure you can provide their description to Pelton and describe the description to Wobysalt, and that information will be.
It's like, wait a second.
Yes, Did I not make a handout about all of the problems?
For this area?
Yeah.
Not that I know of.
World Steinregel. All right, so. Okay, so yeah, so there have been some issues in the area, and to flash us back here, you're presently in Ishigoros, the capital of this province. The Temple of the Sun has had some issues. You have probably solved them. There have also been you need to investigate the Spring Games and the deaths surrounding them. The Spring Games were held at Groskevi, a small village outside of the city of Dinamoros. And Xylaros has had disturbances in their, not crematorium, but the place where all the cremated remains are kept. And there has been rumblings from the Undercities, from the Undercity. Not only that, but one of the vampires who you spoke to indicated that Abroda Acalaris herself was headed on to Xylaros. So that's what you say, and Eliana says, so you've dealt with all of the outstanding issues here in Ishigoros. You will want to take care and make swift travel south before any word can spread by this way of this escapee of your association with the state and your hunt for vampires. While you, of course, have my seal to show my absolute approval of your actions, if people know you're working with the state to hunt vampires, the vampires will begin to hunt you as well. You must strike unseen as the hunter who stalks their prey.
All right.
Once the question of the spring games interference is handled in Demoros, there will only be the matters surrounding the Xylaros Undercity. As such, you are a third of the way through your task already, after having spent only one night in my fair city. I applaud you. Come, let us feast. Bring forth the mimosas. And you see these tall orange drinked glasses that she enjoys two of. There is roast zucchini on a spread of cabbage. And grapes aplenty as always. Amari does say, I'm unsurprised that one of them has eluded you. Vampires are tricky quarry. Tomas says, they spend their whole life running from the sun. It only makes sense they would have experience getting away. They would be happy to serve you bacon. They just, they don't bring it out in the first course.
Okay. There was multiple courses. Gotcha.
This is a multiple course brunch. Like they have some like cooked bird and they have like kip strips. Like seasoned with like pickle and celery.
Is it cooked medium rare?
Maybe a little on the bloody side. There's probably not like bacon, but there is pork. There's like slices of ham and
okay, that's fine too.
Yeah, after a fine, like hour or two here, reclining and eating and shooting the shit, Himari is obviously still kind of sus of you because you're associated with Clan Tessin, but she doesn't make too much more of an issue out of it. Tomas seems to be a very straightforward man. Yeah, you can just count as a short rest. And Woby Salt continues to talk to you at length as you recline here with the rising sun of the morning in the east filtering in through the open wall to bathe the Sunrise Palace. About the affairs here. And he says, you should be aware that I have had reports of strange disappearances along the main road. While it is as yet unconfirmed, he sips his mimosa. It is the case, and I have heard this from someone who I trust dearly, or I would not believe it, that a man was found rather free of his liver. As if though it had been ripped out of him.
Has Lonnie heard of anything?
Oh,
or like, I guess of like any rituals? I guess maybe that would require a liver specifically.
Roll me an Arcana. Roll me a liver-based Arcana.
Tento asks, do these things happen during the day, during the night, during midday? Holy shit.
Ubisoft says they are all said to be disappearing during the night. He puts an emphasis on it. So, Lonnie and Zion. Both of you have actually heard stories of a really particular vampiric light entity, like a cousin to vampires, not exactly a traditional vampire, known as the Vircolocus. The Vircolocus eats livers in particular to strengthen itself. And it doesn't drink blood, it like eats flesh. So Vircolocus attacks tend to be a bit more savage looking in the aftermath than like a vampire. And they tend to be a bit more buck wild. You think that it's possible? So the weird thing about because Wilby Salt goes on to explain that it was like the person had like the liver surgically removed. like, or like not surgically necessarily, but like they were very careful. Like it wasn't just like it wasn't battle damage, right? Like this was done deliberately while the person was still alive. And it's possible both of you would know that the liver could be used in a ritual involving the Vira Locus, possibly to alter the liver and then feed it to the Vira Locus to find it or otherwise do something to it. Or they could have just been collecting the liver for the Vira Locus to feed it to them regularly.
Or like is there any reason why like we're the locusts and vampires would like not hang out together?
No, they do. They do hang out together.
Okay,
As
so it's
long as
not
the
weird.
as long as the well, so Virka locuses, broadly speaking, can't feed without killing. Most vampires keeping a low profile avoid draining their meals dry unless they're really, 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 really certain that's not going to come back to bite them.
Okay.
But they don't eat the meat. So vampire
Okay.
Locus partnerships can be, mutually beneficial. Similarly, it is believed that the condition is similar. They have similar restrictions. They can't go out during the day. They're weak to radiant damage, that sort of thing. Not all of rules about vampires are true for Locuses, but enough of them are that it's sort of an overlap. Another thing that you guys know about Locuses with tests at high is that when they consume enough livers, they can use them sort of like a mutagen to alter their own flesh. Because the Locus, while being undead, is slightly less dead than a vampire. Parts of its body that don't move on like their hearts beat and shit like that. And they can do things like sprout wings if they consume enough liver.
Being less dead sounds weird, but okay.
Well, I mean, they
dead.
flag as undead, but they still have like beating hearts.
They're not a full-on corpse walking.
Yeah, they have like functional aspects of their biology, despite this fact that it is necrotized. But the spirit and the spiritual aspect of the entity is dead and clinging to a dead shell.
So, like, do they relay any of this stuff after Tento answers this question?
I assume this is a very casual brunch time conversation about liberating.
Yeah. Yeah, does
that's what rich
Ronnie
people
or
do, talk
Zion
about
say
livers.
say anything about what kind of vampire
Yeah.
this is? Yeah, okay, cool.
Zion will give you all the gruesome info as you're eating.
That doesn't fucking care. Why does he care?
Dude, Lonnie just wants to like glance up at like the other people while Zion, I presume, is not like toning down its voice at all.
Of course not.
How's their reaction to all of these juicy, bloody details?
Juicy.
So like
tomato juicy.
So they're like cousins of like vampires. Interesting, and they just eat the liver. So are these I see Chucks is most of these attacks like vicious in particular, or
Ruby Salt says, well, we have a lot of unconfirmed reports, so it's hard to say. The strangest one was that the liver had been cut so surgically from someone. It raises questions about whether or not the Virculocus attacks are coincidental, or if perhaps they're being orchestrated or have some.
Wait,
greater
was the guy
meaning
who got surgically his liver surgically removed? Well, it looked like it was surgically removed. Lived, or is he dead?
Dead. But like they started cutting before he was dead. Based on the like what had happened as they like flailed around and shit.
Why didn't bother? Just gonna kill him. Weird.
It will be Salt said, well, perhaps there was some ritual purpose. Tomas, chewing on some ham, says, maybe they wanted it fresh. I don't know, as if they were saying, either of these could be potentially the case. Either way, I haven't contracted you to deal with random attacks in the countryside. So, if you do not feel that this is under the purview of your task, do not worry about pursuing it. Keep it in mind.
I bet it's all connected.
Probably.
All the attacks are happening at once, like when they've been connected.
Indeed.
But that's just my theory.
Your game theory.
Ah.
Or is it a
No,
food
it's
theory?
I say it's actually film theory, all right? Actually,
Okay.
no, food makes more sense since you're eating the liver. No, it's my food theory. You're right. What else is there to eat? Zucchini. I guess I'll take a short rest. I push the button. Oh, there we go.
Yeah, so you guys have a nice
Yeah.
rest over brunch, and
Oh my fucking god.
do.
Okay, good.
Zion's gonna ask Lonnie, what should I do with this jar of ash?
Where did Zion get a jar of ash again?
The vampire? Or was
Remember-
that mist?
It's supposed to be mist.
I missed.
Hey, if it's ash now, that means the vampire is dead. So
Wait, so you're saying that ash is the vampire?
I don't know.
Or are you
it's-
talking about something else?
Yeah, it's the vampire.
Also, to be clear, we've seen vampires turn into mist and ash. Ash doesn't quite meet its dead.
So wait, is this
I'd-
one?
I would say you give
This was the
that to
captured
the.
leader.
I would say you give
And
that
it's
to the.
ash or mist right now.
Missed.
Missed.
I would.
I-
I would.
Guess we should turn it over to them. I mean, they're
As we
the
talk
ones
about
who-
it in front of the people.
Yeah.
I think
we
would
just hand
say
this
that,
over.
Yeah.
All right, here you go.
Please don't toss it. Please don't toss it.
No, toss it.
yeet.
I like this one, Zion. Let's. Yeah. Yeet.
Just throw it out right into the street. Cracks,
No, this
the vampire
gives
pops
it-
up, burns in the sun.
I mean, it pops. Yes, it pops up in the middle of all the in broad daylight. I don't think it's like the problem will take care of itself. Is all I'm saying.
Yeah, I'll hand it over to Warner Bros. I mean,
Amazing.
Damn.
No, they're gonna write off as a tax. Tax up write off.
So you hand over the situation. You're like, we'll have someone look at this as the mist dances around in the bag of holy into their bag, and yeah, you guys are shown a map of the region. Didamoros is the next up place in terms of if you were to travel, and west of there is Groskevi, which is along the main road, and the fields out there is where the spring games are held. So if you wanted to look into that, you could do so there. And all the way down here is Xylaros.
So I guess next
Oh
one
my
is investigate
goodness.
the spring games, but also the roads can be kind of sus, so be careful.
Indeed.
Is that the basic gist of it?
That's the
So
basic
take
gist
the
of it.
river, or rivers also.
I mean, you could.
Do we know if the attacks happened at like night or?
No,
All
you
of,
know
yeah,
they happen at night.
all of them are happening at night, yeah.
Pretty ballsy move for a
What?
vampire to attack in the middle of the day.
I mean, we
Well,
can at
that's-
least make it to the next town or nightfall.
Yeah, I mean, it's late morning, getting towards noon. You have to make it roughly 35 miles. It's doable.
And
I mean, if not, we can still like go to some of the smaller towns on the way instead.
Yeah.
did we have any knowledge on running water with Rosencreek vampires?
You haven't noticed to be an issue with the ones that you've seen, but you haven't like seen any of them hop over a river either.
We haven't tried, but
Yeah, there's still a chance.
either way, I think there's a high chance that a stronger vampire probably won't.
Yeah, a lot of the restrictions that the weaker vampires have to suffer through, or the vampire revenants, the more powerful vampires can shrug off. Some of the most powerful ones are even reported to be able to spend brief times in the sun without burning up.
Which also, does that include in mist form? Like, where did the other vampire go? Did we actually investigate down the tunnel?
You found a collapsed tunnel head that
Oh, yeah.
you presume.
So that, yeah.
Yeah, so you don't think.
Oh, okay. So we can't follow. Well, actually, we could have followed.
I mean, they're excavating over there right now, but it's going to take a while, and he'll be gone by then. But they'll figure out eventually where the tunnel exits, right?
Damn it. We could have followed if I thought about it earlier. Okay, let's go.
No, time to try, and we couldn't.
No, polymorph.
Oops, I didn't mean to click that.
So, you are atop the city, and I believe that you want to return to your wagon and ride out, yeah?
Yeah.
All right. Eliana Kirkos says, "Good hunting to you. You have served me well so far. I am looking forward to hearing out more of your exploits, crushing these fiends in the dark." Why the fuck does the hex map always do this?
It's weird.
I mean, like, no, but shit, this is the overlay of navigate. Oh, wait. Did they disappear while you were up there? Can you see them again?
No.
No.
Not anymore.
Well, this is the overlay.
But we did see them earlier, and we were able to like hover over them, and like it looked like we could interact with them like any other token. But when you moved us upwards, that's when it disappeared.
But I've moved you guys back now, and you still can't see?
No.
Alright, hold on. What if I just randomly add an extra 70 to one of the dimensions? Is that going to fix it?
Oh, it's back.
They're back. Everything looks slightly shifted from a second ago, but
yeah, because I fucked up the map to make this happen. Hold on, so I'll shift it back. Oh, are you kidding me? Please tell me I didn't just ruin this map.
Control C, Control C.
The thing is, Control Z won't work for this.
Oh, damn. But tokens are back.
And I'm going to move them once and it's going to be broken. I'm going to have undone all of the work of minutely made. Alright, hold on. Let's not freak out. Let's just try and put this exactly where it was supposed to be before. Okay. And if I check... Alright. And Dinamoros. Yeah, I think that everything has roughly gone back to where it was supposed to be. Remind me
Except
to never...
when you moved all the tokens disappeared.
Oh.
Like you moving the terrain map seemed to bring it back.
I would tell you to watch the stream, but we're on like a 2-minute delay right now, so it's not going to work.
It's okay. I mean, we got a good gist of where we need to go, what's in our way.
All right, you want to fucking
guide us.
All right, so
yeah, I mean.
So someone brought up boat. Are you doing that? Or are you taking your wagon and riding south?
No, I think we just take the wagon and then we just travel to the furthest town we can with whatever movement we get.
Sure. So you guys are
like
saying
2
off.
hexes away.
A third of the day has gone by. You have 2/3 of daylight remaining. Give me that March setter roll. Give me that wagon license roll. Anybody who wants
wagon
to
license.
Scouting perhaps. Also give me that roll. I say as Darren is not.
I should make a wagon license button. Wow.
Yep. We're going to one of the earlier towns, I bet.
I mean, it's still the road, so we still get good movements.
Yeah, so you default to Swift. So the first, so like you guys hit the road and everything goes wrong. Lonnie's playing the shamisen, but it's not really putting the spring in your step. The cart keeps like hitting hard, and Kabancho doesn't want to like fracture the axle and then have to stop for cart repairs. So he just consigns himself to slow going. Zion keeps its eyes peeled.
At least Zion's doing well.
And so
What happened?
You left. This is the problem. Clearly, you just can't leave.
Why did you? What did you roll a 1 for?
Driving the cart.
Are you sure you have a license?
Yeah.
Wait, what can
I
I
don't
do?
know. It might have expired in the time that
Oh shit! I didn't even think of that. Do I need to go back and renew this thing now that I'm alive again? Fuck! All that paperwork. I have to wait at the fucking wagon dealer and like.
so,
Yeah,
what
those lines.
What else can
They're not
Tento
anarch
do?
accessible either.
Are you gonna have to get like a new portrait done? You do look rather different.
Can I try driving the cart? What do I roll? Dex?
No, we're here.
How did we get here? You rolled a 1.
I mean, we're still on a road, so we still get quick movements or swift movement.
How did we get
We
here?
default to swift movement, so by
Oh,
default we are
so
fast.
so by default.
We just don't get the extra bonus stuff.
Lonnie's just like halfway through, just might give up playing. He's like, you know what? I just kind of out.
What is wrong with you guys?
We're all tired,
You
okay?
can't drive. Apparently, you can't play instrumental.
Yeah.
The only one doing it is Zion here.
so you guys ride up.
Tento,
along.
you're not
I don't
anything at all. I don't
know.
wanna
You
hear that from you.
literally aren't doing anything, Scout.
I
Like-
zoned out for a second, but like when I zoned back in, I didn't like, see all this shit.
Yeah, you. So you're also doing nothing.
Hey, I said
Yeah.
Zion's the only one doing things here. All right, I included myself in this doing nothing. But it seems like you guys are actively trying to sabotage the ride.
So, as a reminder, we do have, of course, Dear Hoofington here, Nayella and Hazel, who I'm going to go grab from earlier. And
Lonnie's just gonna scoot by Tento and just play a particularly sharp note on the shamisen, right as close to Tento as possible.
Do you need help, Lonnie?
so y'all pull up, and Zion spots doing a good job scouting. Did I not pop out
It's
Lanny?
Zion.
Did it only pop out Lumi?
No, Lonnie's up top
I can't.
by the wagon. By the wagon.
Oh my god, are there tokens that you can see that I can't?
Oh, that's a first.
Wait,
It might
what?
be because I moved it.
Oh, I'm on Hoopington.
Oh, now there's two of
Not
me.
what we're talking about.
Oh, now there's 2 Lonnies. Lonnie, can, the Seaman is
It's
taking
a
the
changeling.
form.
Get her.
Oh, now we can't see anything. Oh, now we can see something.
Alright, is there one set of everyone now?
No.
Alright.
It's okay.
So
can I
you
delete
arrive, you
this?
see, more importantly than any amount of Foundry fucking up, you see a bloody scene. Several guards with spears and breastplate out look over what appears to be a rather slaughtered through yard. There is a compound at the center of this farm and grazing land. It is spattered with blood. You see evidence on the northern warehouse on the compound of a broken through wall, and blood and corpses besides. A hoplite steps up and continues to wave you on. Nothing to see here but misfortune.
Is this still daytime?
Yes. It's
Still same day.
it's afternoon.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know how far we got
So
to.
it's approaching like afternoon, evening. You know what I mean? So you're in the final third. You've exited. You're entering the final third of daylight, basically.
Please, dear God, what happened? This fine, where are we? Is this was it a farmhouse? What happened in this fine
Yeah,
farmhouse?
you want to ride up in Huffington?
Yeah.
And he says,
So this is why Tento's not the
"Grim,
face.
grim business traveler." He gesticulates and says, "Some beast has fed upon them. We think it's werewolf." And Grigori, he's like, "Yes, werewolves. My father used to tell all sorts of stories about them. They eat people." And someone's like, "Grigori loves to talk about his father's stories." Anyway, we sent word for a
Witness?
priest.
Oh, what made you guys suspect it's a werewolf?
Look at him.
Yeah, quick.
They point a spear at this woman's torso that has been flayed, and like the meat ripped out, and like there's bite marks all over.
2 quick questions. When Tento and the group was a werewolf, it wasn't like based on the full moon, right?
It was not.
No, but
Also
you,
in the dream realm, where a full moon might not be a concept.
No,
No,
they were
no.
werewolves in the real world.
Remember, I turned into a werewolf to get
Wolfto.
that. Yeah, I turned into a
wasn't
wolf
Gabancho?
to.
There were 2 party members who had been like bitten.
Yeah,
Shivancho
Shivancho was
was
the
also
other
turned
one.
into a werewolf too.
That wasn't a dream world thing.
Yeah, there are multiple. There
Wasn't
are.
that dream world?
No.
No.
We went to a dream world to deal with a wolf, but that was separate from the werewolf thing.
Oh, in the Horn HQ?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, so werewolves aren't actually tied to moon cycles, right?
I actually don't know.
There are multiple types of werewolves, some of which do or do not care about the moon cycles.
Okay.
Tintel's just gonna look at the dead body.
Make
see
a
when
medicine
it
check.
Deliver.
Very low. Yeah, very low medicine check here.
Bonnie's gonna guidance medicine check.
So the body has clearly been.
What
The
the
body.
fuck, everyone?
The
Hello,
body-
everyone
the
else.
body has clearly been delivered.
Oh,
By the way, what clothing is Lonnie wearing when she rides up?
I mean, just her usual armor. Her eyes probably covered.
All right. The guard is like, "Whoa there! Going to need to bring another wolf into this equation." But
Bonnie's just
yeah,
going to grab the holy symbol and show them, and then just continue to look.
All right, so the liver is removed, and they look at it, and they say, "Oh, you're a priestess of." I don't recognize that symbol. And Grigori says, "Nabiki, the dream sanct. I read all about her." And someone's like, "Oh, one of those northern
This guy is
saints."
awfully knowledgeable. I'm just saying. Why aren't you like a scholar?
Congratulations on being well read.
Yeah, man, this guy's really well
Yeah,
read.
and this guy's like, "So she's a priest?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, I mean, she's got the holy symbol." And someone
Yeah.
says, "Are you sure they don't sell those at gift shops?"
Oh,
She's more of a druid, but same difference, right?
Well, a druid. And you have a wolf. Hey, do you know anything about werewolves? Do you think this could be related?
Oh yeah, this person
Man,
specifically.
You know, when I said that,
Wait a minute.
it just fluctuates between being well read and just being just fucking silly.
You know when you're just like, you know when like you're like an Asian, like sitting beside people who are talking like 20 different things. That's just so wrong, and you just like don't know where to start, or if it's better to just stay quiet because it's really not worth the effort.
Yeah, I just don't.
That's just happening right now. Oh, and then you know, like that one friend that happens to say something that makes it worse. Yeah, that's Darren.
Damn.
So, yeah, you inspect the bodies. You determine that they're definitively delivered. The cart is in fact moved forward to wherever you want to move forward. I assume the machine with no name is chilling on the road.
Mhm.
Honestly,
Um,
come on, just
I heard
leave his car.
chewing on the road. I was very confused.
No, I'm by the
And,
cart.
and
I
and
just wanted to move it
the
forward. So that,
hoplites are like, so you're a traveling priest with a merchant caravan? Listen.
We should probably show. Dento's gonna look for that seal thing that they.
All right, so you whip out the
what-
seal.
Yeah.
The guy blinks
Maybe-
and says, "Oh!" and he stands at attention and says, "My apologies, I did not realize."
No,
Bancho
no.
looks for the seals
no.
in his pockets and finds it missing. I'm like, what? Where did you take this?
And,
No,
he
no
says,
big deal.
Grigori, go tell Victor. And he says, "Oh," he looks and he's like, "Oh, I see. By the order of the Landgraf." And he, runs in and a dude with like slightly more plumes on his helmet walks out and he says, "I'm told there is someone here on the authority of the Graf." He looks around, he sees the symbol, and he says, "Ah, I see." And Grigori adds, "And she's a priest. Oh, good. So our runner must have arrived already. Good that you arrived so soon." And he
Oh,
points
no.
and says, "As you can see, there has been some sort of attack." Grigori says, "A werewolf attack." And he says, "I don't think it was a werewolf attack." "But, Commander," "Well, let's let the priests decide." And they all kind of look at Lonnie and say, "We have more bodies inside if you might want to inspect them."
Yes, come on, priest. Let us go inspect these bodies.
Okay,
Of
just to
course.
entertain the notion, is there any possibility with a 19 medicine check that Lonnie thinks that this is a werewolf attack?
So here's the problem with it being a werewolf attack. Lonnie happens to know a few things about wolves, and also has seen werewolves, right? The problem is the claws, because they've been clawed at, but the claws look more like twisted human hands than they do werewolf claws. The bites also aren't canine shape. They're more like humans with a human mouth with razor sharp teeth and a too wide openable jaw have committed these bites. And
Oh, what if Lonnie just has to really bite the body to a point? Like, look, the bite marks are different. Anyways, nope. Okay.
Yeah, just keep that to yourself. for
abuse
now.
of a corpse might not be a big one on their list, but right now they let you have the run of the places. They're like, "Oh, of course, let us know if you need any." What was your name again, priest?
Lonnie.
Lonnie. Good to meet you. Did you say? Wait, did someone say you were a druid?
He.
I see, yes. Everyone needs a fool. That's why we have Grigori. And Grigori says, "I am studying to go to the university." And he says, "Yeah, he'll major in werewolves."
Hey, that
Um,
man is trying to just work the grind, alright?
Is the liver torn out or removed?
In some of them,
Precisely.
in most of them, it looks like it was actually bitten and eaten in them, and one of them has some remnant of liver. But in at least one of them, it looks like it was slashed out. And based on, give me investigate maybe if you guys want to Sherlock Holmes this crime scene.
Yes. Come,
This is
come,
what I'm
Zion.
here
Let
for.
us do our thing.
This is
There you go,
really your
perfect.
forte.
Perfect, Zion. We did it.
Yeah, you whip out the bubble.
It's Zion Holmes and
Dialogue home.
Tenso.
Yeah, so you guys whip out your
Vortex.
bubble pipes and walk around. Bento and Lonnie, you get the
And
vague
Lonnie-
sense that this person was
Lonnie-
trying to get in the door when the violence happened, maybe? And it looks like some that he probably broke through from the inside out to the outside up here, which actually I'll show you Bento like this. But yeah, Zion sees in its mind crystal clearly how this worked out. There is evidence of trampled brush back here, and without rain, the prints haven't fully settled. You can still find suggestions. It seems that someone walking mostly on 2 feet, but sometimes 4, with handprint claw, ran down this woman and man, killed her against the wall, killed him just inside the courtyard. People inside were already inside, woke up. Door gets broken down. in the process of slaughtering them, they break through a bunch of wooden walls and break a bunch of furniture. And they then move to the north, where they eat. There were some kips that were kept in the warehouse during the night. Those were like feasted upon. You find a few feathers. However, you note something as it comes back out into the courtyard and looks around, and you see a new set of footsteps that seems to have jumped over the southern wall. And there was a fight. There was a scuffle, Zion. Based on the distances, you'd think that they might have had a weapon of some reach, the other combatant. And some of the blood in the north is actually from the Virolocus and seems to have dried a little faster, because it's from like a dead creature, right? And it seems like the Virolocus broke through the wall, partially running, but also partially being forced.
See, so this is how it all went down.
Yeah, and you hit him with the Phoenix Wright unspool. Yeah, and they nod and they say, "Wow, not only does your companion wear the arm of a warrior, they have the mind of a real scholar." And they nod sagely, and someone says, "Oh, are you a paladin? Is this sort of a cleric paladin duo thing?"
No.
Can you repeat that last bit for me, where they that about the scuffle?
It looks like there was a fight in the center,
Mm-hmm.
and that the somebody with a weapon of some reach, forced them into the through the warehouse.
Does that mean there should be? Does that mean that person lived? Who said they did the scuffle?
It looks like it. Yeah, well, I mean, you don't see any evidence of the other person having even bled.
Huh.
To the north, the trail dims because there's some wet tracts of land and brush that doesn't bend well. But yeah, overall, it looks like they fled this site.
So this kind of just looks like it just went in a frenzy and just ate everyone. Then someone happened to come by and drive them off?
Indeed.
I can't imagine a regular guard would be able to drive off. But we assume it's a vampire
Good question.
at night.
Where was the assailant like driven off from, and is that the body that like the liver was like taken, not just like caught?
One of the two bodies in the house, which was one of the last kills, had the liver ripped out rather than consumed.
And did it seem like it was the body like right before the
Right before. Yeah, it looks like the Virolocus kills everyone, comes back into the courtyard, possibly still smelling blood or something, because they wind up killing the kips up here. But then someone jumps over the southern wall, and a fight ensues.
Also, just to make sure, like, how much does a Virolocus usually eat? Like a normal meal for just one?
So a Virolocus needs to eat for two reasons. They need to eat in general flesh to keep existing, and they need to eat livers to more or less level up, but also maintain their sentience. If a Virolocus is without liver for a really long time, they become rabid entirely like an animal. And that can lead to feeding frenzies like this, where they would just slaughter a whole farm. Alternatively, the Virolocuses can sort of bulk up, and maybe the reason that you don't see as much of the flesh eaten on the one that had the liver cut out, it's possible they just gorged themselves, couldn't eat anymore, and took the liver for later. Snack for the road. You know, throw it in the microwave later.
Well, Lonnie is going to explain why it's not a werewolf to the booksy one.
Alright, Grigori is like, oh! And you tell him like it's a Vircolocus?
Yeah.
A Vircolocus! Oh, I haven't read about them yet, but I've heard stories when I was a wee lad. Oh, father said that they have terrible wings of bone, and that they spew blood, but it's acid blood in a breath attack. And you have to hold up your shield, but if it's made of low-grade iron, it will melt. That's why you need the good steel.
Is this true?
What?
Well,
Is this actually true?
What did your father do? If you don't mind me asking, what did your father do
and he says,
as an occupation?
he's like, oh, my father? Well, he was a soldier like me. But when he
okay.
retired, he was an olive man. You know, he pressed olives into oil.
Oh.
I thought you were
Yes.
gonna say he was like the town drunk.
Yeah, like, is this actually
man.
So
true?
it's his
Do they
occupation. He
actually
got
have an
paid to be
acid breath and
town drunk.
wings?
So you do know that Vircolocus are capable of developing wings if they eat enough livers and devote their
Yeah.
energy to that. You don't. Neither you nor Zion directly recall the Vircolocus story breathing it, but there was a section in the manual that Tento has, if you reference the Vircolocus entry, that says various nigh magical or miraculous feats and powers have been ascribed to the Vircolocus. Some reason this is because of the species they were in life. Others reason it is because of some magical ability they managed to retain even through death. However, whatever the case may be, these seem to be singular cases, whereas things like better unarmed attacks and wings and like longer limbs seem to be universally achievable by the Vircolocus.
So,
Yes, Grigori has heard many stories.
from his Pasha, that man was very, very adventurous for a guard.
Says, oh yes, well of course, my father fought in the war against the dwarves, drove them back into the mountains, under our glorious Anax, Eliana Kirkos.
All right.
I am honored to serve her.
That's good to know, buddy.
Victor
You're a
says,
server with the books too.
Victor
That
says,
scholarship.
yeah, Victor says, the shrine tender is also been summoned to give the body's last rites. I would ask that you help with that, but I think you have a bigger fish to fry. He kind of gesticulates and says, do you have any leads? We are already having rumors of disappearances on the road. Now an entire farm slaughtered? How can the people trust us to defend them if we can't do something about this?
Well, don't you worry, we are doing something about it. Out of curiosity, were there any particularly any other adventurers that you saw that looked particularly strong? Because someone had to drive the vampire away
He says,
by themselves after it was done eating.
we haven't had many
It's
of
not
the
a vampire, but
adventurous type. He looks around and says, Grigori, you said you saw someone the other night, and Grigori said, yes. I was out for a walk by the river, and I saw the strangest thing. I saw a man with a gold breastplate, black and red accenting his armor. He had his helmet off, and he was looking up at the night. When I approached, he put it on and disappeared behind some reeds. I called out, but I didn't see him. And,
All right.
Does this ring a bell for any of us?
Yeah, I'm like, dude, this.
Not
is
as a
so
player.
familiar. Yeah,
Yeah,
that
I was like,
the
Don't-
only weird armored folk that I can remember is that Griffin Rider.
I would hit...
I don't think they're.
If you want to, you could hit history, but this isn't like an illusion. None of you are immediately like, oh yeah, I know that guy.
The history. All right, that sounds about right.
Diane, I will say this. You once read a book called Degorian Legends. And like in the appendix, for the very minor legends that the author had heard of, but they were like a completionist and they were going for the 100%, right? There were 3 lines about in Ischydonian Mictros, the Night Hunter. The Night Hunter wears 20 sides to every story. Hello, thank you for the chat. Wears black, gold, and red. His spear arm is true, and he comes in the hour of need most dire. It is said he has appeared for centuries. That was it. That was the entirety of the entry. The only thing is, he is identified as being from Ischydonian Mictros, and you're in Ischydonian Mictros, and that description fits.
I'm gonna assume Zion relays this to all of us.
Do you? Okay, so Grigori says, "The Night Hunter. You think?" Father told me all sorts of stories about him. He said he was the Black Knight himself, who fought against the ancient evils. Then again, Father did have a lot of stories, and he never really cited his sources. But I'm sure there's some truth to it. But the Night Hunter, wow, yeah, he did describe him as having a gold, black, and red armor.
Out of curiosity, were you adopted? Is your father named Treadfar? Everything would make a lot more sense if you say yes.
Treadfar sneezes.
To be fair, Treadfar might not be referred to as father. So.
Yeah,
that's true.
Treadfar might be citing their sources also.
There's also very true. That's also more plausible.
Yeah, no, but Grigori's like, oh no, my father's name was also Grigori.
That's nice.
Yes, I'm Grigori, son of Grigori.
Well, it sounds like a legend is helping us in our dire in our time of need.
After
we can use all the help we can get, quite frankly.
Like after a feeding frenzy, like they'll still probably like look for liver that powers them up, right? But like or are they gonna be sated for a while and like
it's hard to say
they get
because
hungry again?
Unless a Vircolocus is starving, they retain human intellect. They're on the dumb side, but they retain like human intellect, right? So like it's like to some degree it's down to personality, but in general, yeah, like unless a Vircolocus has like some particular need, they hunt when they're hungry until they're full, and then they chill. But they do always want livers.
Okay. Well, at the very least, you won't be at risk of something like this for a while, assuming there's just one. Like this was something that was feeding because it was super hungry. But now that it's sated, it'll probably just go for easy targets rather than massacre like this.
All right. Well, if we know it is some kin to vampire, we will tell the commoners to stay indoors at night, to bar their hatches. Perhaps we can... He looks around and shakes his head and says, "It burst through the wall. Well, I pray to the gods above that you find this thing before it grows hungry again. I would not see more innocent people become a meal."
We wouldn't either. But until then, yes, a curfew would probably be the best.
Understood. And he points to the other man and says, "Davos, make it so." He starts his jog to town to the south. He says, "We will correspond with the guards in the city, but for now, we will turn our attentions to the town. Thank you for everything you have done. He looks at you and says, if you require any assistance, don't hesitate to ask.
Thank you, good sirs.
When I am done here, I will be at the tower in town. And,
The tower or the tavern?
tower.
Okay.
You've noticed all the villages that you've seen have had two features in common in Ischydonia. There's a circle, and there is a tower.
No tavern. I'm sure there's
No tavern
They
though.
might have a
Look.
tavern, but
like they don't fool around in the alcoholic beverages, alright? They are solid people. They are always sober.
If there's no town drunk occupation here.
Yeah, there's no town drunk occupation.
so
Let me tell you what. Sorry, go on.
yeah, so you've conversed with the locals, and you're free to do whatever you'd like from this point.
Yeah, let's just go back to our path.
Yeah.
Do we want
So-
to hunt this thing down? Because
Yeah,
I'm
like, is there
sure-
like a trail that we should maybe
So
follow?
the
or
trail
just
is
keep
the-
going?
you mentioned
The,
Sorry, go on.
the trail north dissipates pretty rapidly, so it would be difficult but not impossible if you want to hit a survival to try and get an idea.
because this is something that we not paid to do, but asked to keep in mind. If we want to take on extra things.
Oh, let's see what my survival roll says.
So I
Says
guess it's
no.
a yes.
It says no. It says we'll probably run into it.
Not if we're heading south. Right? We're heading south, right?
Yeah, so
The thing was heading north, right?
maybe it
Yeah.
kept going north. So, it's the second. So you're in the final third of daylight. It's decidedly afternoon. The shadows are getting hung long. You have two hexes for the rest of today. You could either go to Red Skevy, or jump over Red Skevy and be on the road at night. What do you want to do?
I say we get on the road at night.
That's an option. You guys want to keep going? Yes.
How urgent is our main objective of finding things out? Because I'm assuming we want to be fast, since
So the objective
we can
timer
assume all the
is-
vampires know us now.
Yeah, you're supposed to finish the job by the end of the season, so you have weeks. But Pelton didn't stop existing because he walked off the screen.
That's very true.
You don't know that the daughters Acalaris are behind everything, or that they're going to be the next location. But Pelton isn't about to forget what you did. In fact, Pelton's not about to forget what you did, even if you leave this province and have finished the job, if Pelton still exists.
If it's a very strong word.
But it was also daytime when he.
It was daytime when he reached
Yeah.
an escape hatch that you don't know where it goes.
Mm-hmm.
So there could be an underground system that you just fucked off with.
Yeah, I mean, they did their best to lock the place down and catch all the vampires, and they caught a lot of them. But
These only pistols I have? I guess it is for this one. What
Depending
ability
how strong-
modifier should I use?
Also, depending on how strong he is, he might have been able to withstand sunlight for a short period of time.
yeah, which
Yeah.
very powerful
That's fair.
vampires can do. And you did see he used up a lot of blood on his way out. So
He was
Yeah, he
very
did.
close to dead though, so
He bust open 4 containers.
So you guys roll into a local town, the next town on the way. The guards are running in and seeing you. There's villagers who seem concerned, some of whom are saying a curfew. It can't be. And someone else says, "I hear there was a slaughter at the farm. Everyone's dead." And they're like, "What?" And someone said, "Grigori said it could be werewolves." And they're like, "Go back to your home. There's a vehicle locus on the loose. Feasts on blood and flesh. Do not get caught."
Also
All your
wrong.
homes-
There'd be some flesh and livers, but okay.
You bar your homes and do not go out at night without permission. So there's some grumbling. And they say, to attend to your affairs, nightfall is soon. And there's obviously some concern among the villagers, and word spreads to the outer houses. But yeah, you guys have the prospect of either staying the night here or continuing south one more hex and just being on the road.
I say we stay on the road.
I'm actually with Tento on this one. The vampires know us. The longer we stay out, the more likely they'll just prepare and try to catch us.
Mm-hmm. I also think we should keep going.
All right. So is the group consensus just road?
Just to clarify, we're not gonna be like facing like endurance checks on fatigue or on.
No. This is, you still have daylight on this.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
is it
it's
gonna
just-
affect us on the next day?
No. If
No.
as long as you camp when night comes, you're good. If you want to push
Okay.
through the night, that's when you have to worry about it.
Yeah, it's just
Okay,
we can move further if we want, but it's like, do we want to stay in town and give up the extra hex, or do we just want to camp?
Yeah, it kind of sounds like road unless someone's about to make a strong argument.
Lonnie thinks the town would be safer, but she's not super strong.
Nah, we're not trying to be safe at the moment.
Okay.
So,
If we're
full
assuming
speed
that
ahead.
there's only one nearby, then that one nearby is sated, in theory. And I don't think this village would offer much protection.
We are making a huge assumption that there's only one, because there was the other one where like the other attack where like the liver was like surgically removed. I don't know if it was like to feed this one or what, but that particular attack was done by just one.
If there's just one. But even if it's not, I don't think a village would offer much protection. They did bust through a wall, and buildings would be more of a hindrance than a protection to us.
And if anything, we do run into it, that's one less problem we gotta solve because the problem's coming to us. One less problem we gotta look for because the problem's gonna be coming to us.
Eh.
I don't know if that's particularly a good thing. But yeah.
Well, on the road then, Lonnie is definitely taking first sleep. Tell us back if possible.
Sure. He's gonna sleep now?
Well, we're still gonna travel, so
Mhm.
once we can get away starting a long rest on the cart.
No, I'm just saying like for shifts campaign.
Oh, okay.
Because that's kind of generally the other thing. Like usually in town, we don't need to take night watches.
Mm-hmm.
So I am hearing that you guys do continue on one.
Yeah.
hex.
Yeah.
All right, so you're now a proper halfway to Didamoros, and I will now move you all to the travel zone. You find yourselves in the countryside of Ischydonian. Sparse trees, scrubs, occasional rock, long rolling hills in the distance.
Beautiful.
Yes, so you all find yourselves here and such. And yeah, you guys ride until sunset hits, and it starts to get dark out.
So, what do you think of our chance we're gonna get attacked?
Decent.
Hey,
We don't need to
think
make
so.
new checks or anything, right? We're still like in the same travel phase.
Yeah, no, I mean
Does
you complete, you can complete your travel. Oh wait,
Does that mean
you mean for walking
Kabad-
for the night? You mean the 23 perception? No, that was for scouting during the day. That's not going to cover you on the camping.
Does that mean
No.
Kabacho is still like doing shit and like driving?
Hey, these roads are not being maintained at all. Like, I don't know what the Department of Vehicle Transportation is doing, but they have
I
not
don't
been
know.
maintaining these roads.
Roads look pretty fine to me, but I guess you're the one with the license. What do I
You got
know?
wheels on that horse? No, I don't think so.
Still riding the horse barrier, driving that cart.
It's easy to ride a horse. It's hard to drive a cart.
You're, yeah, okay.
Okay, so yeah, you guys are out here, and you're chilling. I presume you just want to camp by the side of the road.
Probably.
Sure.
Unless there's like a more like obvious place that looks better.
I will. What should I? What it says ability modifier for the Smith's tools. What should I use?
What do you want to? What do you want to construct with the Smith's tools?
Oh no, I just want to polish the helmet I have.
Oh, dexterity, I would say, for polishing then.
Pento wears a helmet?
Tinto has a helmet. He doesn't wear it, but he has one. Remember, I took it from the tombs.
Oh my god, that's what you're fucking talking about?
Yeah. Why? What else would I be talking about?
Oh, nothing. I didn't know what I was expecting out of you.
All right. So who's taking first watch?
I would
Zion
prefer
is always
second
watching.
watch.
Zion's always watch. I'll take first watch with Zion.
We're setting up a campfire, right?
Indeed.
Yeah.
You just. You guys hear just hear tunk as Tento's messing with his helmet.
I hand everyone 2 good berries.
Are they berries though?
No, they're not. This is what they are.
Well,
Wait, what the fuck does it
Wait,
say?
Berry.
How?
Oh, I may have
How?
put damage instead of healing on this one. Give me 1 second.
Are you
Not-
sure that
not on
wasn't an
purpose.
accident?
yeah,
not
Are you
on
sure?
Are you sure it should be a good berry, not a good berry?
There we go. There we go. There we go.
Good berry. Just put the whole thing in quotes
Tento's
while
just
you're
gonna
at
look at
it.
these like, is this food?
No, but this is this will pick someone up when they're down. Just make sure you
What
chew
is it?
well. It's some good old bugs.
Oh.
And you kind of see it like kind of cocooned up a little bit.
Did you
I'll
at
say,
least
is it moving?
Did you at
No,
least
it's not
salt it?
I mean, there's natural salt on it. By that I mean dirt.
I see
They're
you
bugs.
took,
I don't know what you guys are expecting.
I see you
but,
took cooking lessons from Zion.
but
it tries to feed those rocks a lot.
but these act as good berries. You can
Look.
use an action
They-
to
they
feed
act
someone,
like berries.
and they will heal them for 1 HP. Meaning, if someone's down, they'll come up that 1.
So are these like things still alive, or are they like
I mean,
dead?
you can
They're-
prepare.
They're preserved.
You can
Okay.
They're not
prepare.
gonna move.
You can prepare plants so they feed you, or you can prepare plants so you can enjoy them. I just want to know which one this is.
I mean, I enjoy them, but my palate is drastically different from many of you. I haven't tested things on
What-
Zion, so
What is a meat
it
puppet?
might
Nice.
have similar palates.
So
as
what
me.
is a puppet's like flat taste palette? I'm curious.
What?
What is a puppet's taste palette?
Oh,
I'm
you
curious.
said puppet.
Yeah.
And Lonnie's gonna go to bed after pocketing a good berry. Also, by everyone, do you mean Lumi gets one too?
Lumi can have 1.
Just stir in her.
I don't know how Lumi's gonna hold this one. He says, like,
Lumi's gonna have
in
like
her
that.
jaw?
Can Lumi eat it right now? How much does
Yeah.
it heal? How much does it heal?
It heals 1 per.
All right. There you go. 1 health point back, Lumi. Good girl.
Are you gonna ask if it tastes good?
No, or
Is-
remain a
is-
mystery to everyone.
Yeah. Lonnie is bunkering down. She's just gonna check the weather if it's gonna rain tonight or if she can.
So, Lee, how does the helmet look after I polished it?
It looks shiny and like it's painted faintly with the coil of like a snake, but like a severed snake head mirrored on the
Oh!
other side.
Why is this
For
on the
the-
helmet?
For the hell of it, what's the weather gonna be like for the next 24 hours?
There'll be some rain tomorrow.
I guess Lonnie will use a tent.
Zion, or Tenzel's gonna ask Zion like what if this symbol on this helmet means anything.
Zion, you see it seems like you roll history maybe. Yeah.
Feeling it with these history and arcana rolls, man. Jeez.
It's Zion.
Yeah, it's just Zion in any roles, honestly.
I mean, it
Okay,
could also just
I
roll.
wouldn't say any rolls. Have you seen the charisma rolls?
I don't know. There's pretty spot on what you account for what he actually says or what it actually says.
That's true.
That is true.
Yeah, so Folotros, the Folotros house, a minor house of warriors, memorializing the slaying of a Gorgon by their honored ancestor. They put decapitated snakes on their shit.
Oh.
Yeah, you get the sense also that this is probably not something that you're supposed to take from somebody else's tomb. That's one thing that Zion thinks about history and this thing that Tento has. Yeah, the fire is here.
Do you think I can fence this off for a lot of money?
The answer is yes.
Yeah.
I don't know if Zion tells you the answer is yes.
But the answer
Does
is yes.
Zion answer me?
Zion doesn't withhold information, right?
Yes.
Yes to which question?
It sells for a lot of money.
Yes.
Alright, so there's
Score. Let me just Tento's just gonna wrap this up. Like, let me just make sure I don't get in
there's
trouble for
tents,
having this
and
in my
I, and, I,
hands.
and I presume that you move the cart off the road.
No, he's just gonna block the road.
Yeah, no, I'll move the cart off the road and I'm gonna sleep on the cart.
Hazel and Nail are tied up like side. You sleep on the cart, yeah. So I presume Hoofington is also tied up with the rest of the horses.
Yeah.
Or to a tree. Honestly, the southern northern tree at your preference. If you don't want it on the cart.
I'll tie him to a tree.
All right. So yeah, feel free to post up wherever you're going to be. You know. And who's on the first watch again?
Zion
Tento,
and
Zion.
Tento.
All right, Zion and Tento. So Lonnie, and you're sleeping not in a tent, just in nature, or under a tent?
There are tents now. Lonnie will sleep under a tent.
Yeah, so
Might
please get to a
rain.
tent.
Yeah, put yourself wherever you'd like. And
Oh, dang it, I
yeah.
missed it.
All right, so Tento and Zion. What are your passive perceptions again?
19?
Mm-hmm.
Ridiculous.
16.
I see.
Is it actually is it 19?
Isn't it?
Perception? No, it's 21, sorry.
Jesus Christ.
I
Why is
looked
your
down, it
passive
says
perception
21.
21.
Right? My passive perception is gonna be the number in parentheses next perception in the perception, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 21.
Okay.
Sorry.
Jesus Christ.
Zion,
Oh, right. Rogue expertise.
Zion and Tento both detect creeping at the edge of across the road. You see one person who's very sickly pale white, and dressed in loose garments and clutches in their hands a short bow. And the other doesn't even seem to be a person, but rather a menacing creature with humanoid shape. They are definitely watching, and you hear a guttural from the northern one. They are watching you.
Muted.
They have not.
Tintel's just. Sorry, go on.
If they show any sign that they know that they have been spotted, they do not give it.
Tintel's gonna slowly pick up his Dwarvish discharger and just slowly walk to Zion. Like, do you see them too?
Mm-hmm.
And how quietly are you whispering that?
I am whispering to Zion.
All right.
Okay. So I'm gonna take the first shot. Which one do you want to wipe out first? You think we should go with the one with the bow or the other thing over there?
Probably the thing.
All right, you're ready? On 3.
Sure.
Not gonna wake anyone.
All right.
3.
Roll.
Oh, don't
was
worry.
thinking
You'll
the
wake
Darren,
up.
Darren, roll a performance to not look like you're about to shoot someone.
Ooh, I like this. Let's go. Okay, I'm lucky.
So-
I'm lucky.
You are lucky. Also, you're lucky that the vampire spawn doesn't understand what your weapon is, but they do seem to put 2 and 2
My
together.
God.
I rolled a 1.
So you go to raise the weapon, and you get your
Are you
shot off,
lucky?
but the vampire spawn also shoots their short bow.
Yeah, I
Are
turned
you
off
lucky?
the lucky thing because I enjoy re-rolling.
All right,
I
so
find it a lot more fun. Yeah.
So the arrow whizzes over your head, and you take your shot. Clean hit. Give me the damage. Yeah. So there's a horrible hue and cry into the night as you burn away at like almost half of its health. And the Vircolocus gives out a guttural cry of battle.
Zion get to shoot too.
I'm gonna say part of like fucking up the performance was timing, but sure, Zion,
Okay,
which one are you
that's
gonna
fine.
shoot?
That same one.
All right, pop me your shot. All right, the lightning strikes the tree, causing a small fire.
I swear to God, if this doesn't wake you guys
Jeez,
up,
how
you can
dry
see-
has it been?
I mean, you know, it's rain's gonna come soon. I swear, if this doesn't make up any of you guys deserve to sleep. I'll be honest with y'all.
I don't know, how loud is the Dwarvish discharger? I don't think we've ever really stated
It like singes through all the moisture in the air with a. But you know, it's sort of like a swift, windy thing.
Is my Dwarvish discharger silenced?
Everyone give me your initiative.
Including the
people-
sleeping people?
Yeah.
Yes, including sleeping people.
Oh, so it's not silenced. Okay. I just want to make sure. Wait, no, I don't get to re-roll that, right? No, I do?
think
I
it's
forget.
You do.
Okay, I was like, do we have this conversation before?
I believe it's all D20 rolls. Or Checks
it
and
is
attacks.
not let me roll.
All right, so Zion, not letting you roll initiative.
Initiative is a skill check, I believe, because Jack of all trades, which applies to it. So yes, you should be.
It is not
it's
letting me
a dex
re-roll.
check.
Zion, it's your turn.
Wait, I'm not on the tracker.
Yeah, you are.
Well, I need to re-roll because I rolled a 1.
Oh, true.
I'm just gonna manually re-roll this. 19.
Well, that is important to know, considering that now makes you first. Ento, what do you do?
I'm gonna shoot at the.
Bear in mind, they are behind a tree for some cover, so you know. But you know, do with that what you will. The beam like snaps off the bark and like chars at
Are
the
you
wood
serious?
as you
Was
strike.
I really just like one off?
No, no, you strike your foe. You just also
Oh,
burn through the
okay.
tree in the process. Give me that.
Oh, okay,
damage.
okay. I was like, damn.
All right. Yeah.
I'm sorry, tree.
So yeah, the vehicle locust cries out in terrible, terrible pain.
Tento's gonna go on and hide in this bush. Whoosh.
All right, so you're like behind this.
26.
You're a ghost. All right.
Disappear.
Zion. It's your turn.
Alright.
Laser beams have lit up the night. The vehicle locust looks like terribly wounded.
Mm-hmm. Can't really reach it, so I'm gonna go for the other guy.
You run
And
up
as
to
I'm
the,
walking over,
Donk.
I'm gonna say, "Come here for the sweet, sweet liver." Yeah.
Yeah.
Good one, Zion.
Give me a performance check, Zion. I want to see how
Let's look at this great performance.
Yeah, that you really role played that result before you even know what it was.
Yep.
So you walk up. Your foe stands before you, dropping their bow and putting up their dukes.
I will also put up my dukes. And an uppercut.
Yeah, you deliver a decisive blow, rocking back their chin with a cracking sound in the jaw as you deliver 7 thunder damage. Alright, that's your turn?
I get another. Oh, no, never mind. I don't get another. Yep, that's my turn.
No, it was gonna happen eventually. So
It claws at you and then it tries to bite you. Claw hits? Question mark?
Yeah.
Does it?
For 6. The bite hits.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
So, here's a question.
Oh.
You don't have any sort of resistance to necrotic, do you? Being a robot?
Nope.
Technically speaking, this is supposed to reduce your max HP. I'm trying to think about whether or not that makes a lot of sense for Zion. So, like, the vampire spawn bites into your arm and, like, tries to suck at some of your internal mechanisms, but it doesn't work. You do take the damage, but you don't take the max HP reduction from this particular enemy. Full-fledged vampires might still be able to do it to you.
Alright.
Just suck the oil, you know?
Advanced technique.
It wants to suck on Zion's liver.
Well, Dylan does. So,
The performance earlier. Yeah.
Liver.
The Zion's
Yeah.
performance from earlier was just so
the
convincing.
vampire whips its hand back and hisses at you. You want no flesh? What is this? And it holds up its hands and says, "We have no quarrel with Archimede. If you be her creation, go now."
But you're trying to attack my friends.
Friends, what are you? Cocks their head, looks at you and says, "Have you not shambled out of Xylaros? Put together? With artificial limb? No, hers are full of blood. Are you?"
I'm just a simple scholar looking for knowledge.
Says, "Ha! You haven't found here only do." And it's Lonnie's turn. Lonnie, you're like, "Oh god, what's that sound? Is something going on outside? Oh, I don't want to go."
What's that noise?
It hasn't yet started raining, but you do hear the sound of thunder gauntlets striking and such, and you are like, "Whoa," and you spend an action waking up. So your action is spent, but you're awake. You can otherwise move normally.
I was muted. Oh, what is this thing in front of me?
That's the fire. Sorry, I couldn't find my usual fire token in any color
Okay.
that was like actual red. I could find it in black and green.
Okay.
But this is the campfire.
I guess Lonnie will step out here.
Yep. I'll flip you back up.
Oh. Okay.
You also looks up.
All you see is Zion.
Oh, Tento's dead. Knew it. Bound to be the first to go.
Sorry, I need to check ranges. Okay, well, I guess Lonnie will just bonus action cast the Shillelagh and wait here to get a better gauge of the situation. Also, it's not like she can attack anyways. So yeah, that's her turn.
Not seen where Tento has so artfully lain. The Virkolocus sprints to where it last saw him, sees Lonnie, and decides that an aperitif will do. The Virkolocus opens up with 2 claw attacks.
I'll hit. That hits.
Guess it did not want the sweet, sweet liver.
So it delivers all of that damage, and then its head rears back and it goes for the liver devouring bite on you.
Wait, sorry, let me math. I need to see if went down. Jeez, I did not think that this thing did this one. 13, so that's minus 4.
Well, it looks most of the way dead. I mean, fully dead, if that's any consolation. Like, it's got, like, its
It's
side
frenzied,
is,
I
like,
guess.
burned. Like, the beams have ripped all
Okay.
through it. Alright, so you're still alive?
Temp HP only goes away with long rest, not short rest, right?
Correct. No specified otherwise.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm still up.
And it proceeds to, like, bite at you and rip through the tent instead of hitting you. It spits it out. It's hungry, but it's missing. Kabancho. Oh, what's the sound? Is that property damage? Oh no, it better not be the car.
Is that
You
property
awaken-
Heart,
damage?
okay. What's going on? This card has gone through so much.
You awaken. Your action is waking up for you as well, but you can otherwise take your turn normally. You see a beast that looks like it might be undead to some extent. Once human ripping at Lonnie. Lonnie's blood is mostly on the tents. Less so than in her body at this point. It's trying to bite her, but it bites the tent instead, maybe going off of the scent. Intento is kind of like crouching with his Dwarvish Discharger behind some rocks.
Oh please! I rolled a 26.
You hear a distant sound of
Gabacho doesn't know where the fuck I am. You know what his passive perception is?
Yeah, Kabancho, what do you
Double
do?
digits.
What do you do on the turn that you have?
My action is waking up. I'm gonna stand up and cast Spirit Shroud, and have it at radiance damage.
All right. The Spirit Shroud enshrouds you. You stand up. You popped your bonus action cast. You have a half a move left in terms of movement if you want to be anywhere. Otherwise, it's your turn.
I'm gonna move here.
Tento Turnto. Tento, the Virkolocus is surrounded by the Machine of No Name, Lonnie, and Kabancho. It's looming over Lonnie, clawing at her, biting at her. It turns to see Kabancho and says, "A spider in the night. Welcome to my web, where I feast."
As he's
is a
talking,
pretty sad web.
Tento's gonna sneak up to him and stab him.
All right, you have advantage for flanking. The Machine of No Name is on the far side, stanced up.
I think technically I'm still stealth too because I have supreme
Yeah,
sneak.
you got.
Yeah, that would have
yes.
That would have granted you advantage as well,
Yeah,
but
so you
Yeah.
have
also, like,
I just have advantage. 26.
Oh, you're gonna pull this dagger out?
You're absolutely hitting.
Yeah.
Give me your damage.
Oof, but I
Sneak
have sneak back.
attack.
Yep.
How bright is this in the middle of the night?
It is a
Damn,
brilliant
those are
display.
some low numbers.
Well, it's 9 plus 15, and it's all
That's
radiant.
24. That's 48.
Wait, yeah. So, the Vera Locust looks almost defeated as its body sears. It screams out. It seems as a reaction to consume.
Oh,
one
okay. Sorry.
point of liver. Yeah, no. You want to follow up?
Yeah.
Yeah. You
Sorry, but
notice.
if it can do its reaction. I don't know how the timing works in this case.
You hit it. It's gonna go down. It uses a reaction to its chest like constricts, and you hear like pumping. And like a weird new deep red growth bursts out of one of the burnt holes in its side that you put with the laser, and it kind of like starts to congeal in a weird scab-like fashion. And then you hit it with the offhand dagger.
Okay.
You hit. Give me the damage.
4.
Actually, good question. What are vehicles exactly? Are they like? Did someone make people into them, or were they just like born this way?
You think from your test earlier, a vehicle locust would make other vehicle locust, but the process isn't well understood.
Okay, so they're like kind of like vampires in that way.
Yeah. So Darren, you cut open the vehicle locust and it stumbles to the ground. It's sort of like writhing there. Hey, Fangaro View. But it's not dead yet. It's dead, but like it's writhing there, and you get the feeling like you're gonna have to like deliver it the finisher. You know what I mean?
I would double tap that bar, you guys.
So, out of curiosity, the golden dagger that Tento has, isn't that
Yeah.
the one where if you kill something with it, its soul is trapped or whatever? It's the one
No,
that
was my sickle, wasn't it? That's the
No.
one.
The sickle just absorbed all the blood that you cut with it. This is the one that Tento gave you, right? Or sorry, Tyr gave
Tyr,
you,
yeah,
right?
that's the one Tyr gave me.
The one that was like
This
where he
is
got
this is
challenged?
this is the gold. This is the golden amber, the honey amber atame glowing brilliantly in the night, slashing down the vehicle locust. Zion, it's your turn, yeah?
I don't think it stole any souls or anything like that. Wait, 20 feet of movement. I'm gonna go towards Zion.
Yeah. All right, so Zion, it's
Yeah.
your turn.
Yes.
Good. Oh, you miss actually.
Oh, that definitely misses.
Double miss.
Zion.
So Zion, you're missing. You're punching. Anything else in your turn?
10 HP.
Yeah, they're dancing back. They're clearly a pugilist. They understand how to fight. You punch your fists together, and the blue light shines from within. And from the black of night emerges a stranger. And with a spear in hand, Hey, 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 hey. Look at me, me. Say. He. Indeed. Well, are we all? No, we're like 50% back. Zion had finished its turn. The mysterious stranger had finished their turn. It's the vampire spawn.
This is what the fuck?
Yeah. So we're back. Thank you all for joining us through the break. We're back, and the vampire spawn turns to see, no, you, and the figure in the helmet speaks in a language that you guys may or may not understand. But the vampire spawn is terrified and takes a disengage action and tries to run away. I wonder what happens.
Wait, what language?
Degorian.
Oh. You know.
Everyone asked me, like, hey, is there going to be any relevant languages? And I was like, oh, I don't think so. And then there was Degorian. I'm sorry. Yeah, you punch them, and you deal 10 thunder damage and lock down their movement, correct?
Mm-hmm.
They try to run, they get the shit rocked. They don't have any actions left. They do, however, regenerate 10 HP. That's the vampire spawn. Lonnie, it is your turn. The Vircolocus is on the ground. It's like its body is broken. There's deep red blood seeping all out of it. But you can't help but feel like there's something left to do to finish it off.
Do I happen to know if it was like it's a very specific, like if it's radiant damage that needs to finish it off or something else?
You see the final like beating is like low in its chest, near the guts. Something's enlarged there. Oh my god. Engorged there. You rolled a really good Arcana earlier, so I kind of feel like I should just tell you, actually, but I...
Oh, Lonnie is just going to point at that part to Bancho.
Mm-hmm.
And then... on this buddy over here.
Alright, so... this buddy over here... a flash of white-hot light rimmed with red descends from the night, and they attempt to dance out of the way of your shot. And I attempt to dance to the right panel to be able to roll the save.
Damn it! Okay.
It burns some grass.
Alrighty. Then what slots do I have left?
You dawn gone made the udon. Thank you.
Okay, Lonnie's gonna do a second level,
Healing word flies as you intone the logos itself. The power of your words speaking into reality miracles.
and I guess she'll ask Lumi to... what direction did the vampire spawn look like they were trying to move?
They were trying to head east. They were trying to retreat to the east.
I'm just gonna have Lumi dash over there to help off.
Sure. Helps cut him off. The Virka Locas writhes on the ground, defeated. Not presently capable of taking any action. Kabansha, you stare down at your incapacitated foe.
Lonnie pointed out the potential problem area, right?
Mm-hmm.
For this guy, or
Yeah.
this creature. Yeah. That's enough for Kabancha. He's gonna take Spider's Cut and pierce down its liver.
Yep.
Do you want me to roll and
Yeah. Attack
do
with
damage and all
advantage.
that
Attack with advantage.
I just want to see you roll like 2 ones.
jazz? Fuck you. That's what I think about your 2 ones.
Okay. Yeah. So you
Roll
hit.
10 numbers. Okay.
Give me the damage. There's an explosion of deep red blood as the
Oh, maybe Lonnie should have moved.
as the liver is severed. It splashes
You-
mostly
are
onto
you
the
in
face of the machine with
splash?
no name.
Are you on the splash
I
zone?
don't know if it matters.
And the Virka
but-
Locas is destroyed as radiant damage also sears through the undead corpse. It goes ramrod stiff and peels back like a rotted banana.
Ew.
Alright, so that was your turn Boncho there, Kabancho.
I
That
should have
was my
bonus action.
Bonus action.
Oh yeah, but I still have my movement. So
Oh.
this thing looks thoroughly gone, right?
This thing is destroyed.
It is.
I'm gonna use my
a bloody
30
corpse.
movement and come up here.
Ento, it's your turn,
I'll
Toe.
say hello there.
The vampire
I don't
spawn
know
looks
if
around.
your friend here is inclined to talk, but would you like to talk?
Mm. Yeah, it hisses at you, and looks around. It sees that it's surrounded. You make that attack. Give me that attack. Oh,
I
advantage.
say he's gonna say anything else. Damn, I'm rolling.
How much damage is that total?
25.
That's
So
a
50.
All right. So with a thrust, you sear its side. There's an explosion of radiant light. It doubles over, and it looks like it's heaving. They're almost destroyed, and it says, "No, stop, please. I'll do anything." And the face under the helmet does not seem swayed.
Alright. The 16 hit?
It's yeah. 3 piercing isn't enough to put it down, but pretty fucked up.
Is oh, it's not okay. I was like, it is. Damn, I was really
It's
close.
almost
All right, the
destroyed.
Zion.
Zion National Park.
Alright, let's try this again.
Hey, killing
Let's roll
blow.
both. Go, and there we go.
You bring your fists down. You crush the head, and you crush the ribs, and you just the heart with a thunder wave, and it's gone. The creature is destroyed. The figure standing across from you lowers their spear, which comes past you at the range that it has.
Jesus.
Looks at you and says, simply, "It is done."
Yes, it is.
So are you that like what they call him again? That legendary or that legendary warrior that pops out when times are in dire times?
The stranger,
Times are in dire
the
times.
stranger like wipes the blood off from their spear onto the grass, stands it up straight, and by way of
Night Hunter.
response says, "I come where I am needed."
Okay. Why are you needed here?
He gesticulates. The beasts, they ambushed you.
Now, yes, they ambushed us, but let me ask you this. Have you been needed in other places and more often than usual?
He nods. These nights grow dangerous. By the way, his eyes glow a deep red.
Whatever, man. My eyes used to glow green. Why do I care?
I ain't judging.
I used to have a letter in my eye.
Yeah, you ain't judging.
Yeah.
So he's like, yep. So he says, they are the hounds of young fools. This will not last long, but they will do much damage before it is done.
Do you know? Sorry, you can go. Yeah.
Did we see how he came here? Did he just like apparate? Do we see him running in? Did we not notice him?
People with Zion and Tento might have noticed like a figure moving in the shadow, but he's very adept at moving in the shadows. If he didn't just appear.
Oh,
It's Tyr.
Shit. Tell me, that's Night Hunter, right? That's the title they gave him, or the
we
name.
were to say Batman.
Yeah, Night Hunter. When did you? Do you know when most of these attacks started? How long ago?
Their crimes began when the land was young, but these nights have come in the past month.
So roughly since Abrota came back.
He looks at you and says, "You know her."
Yes.
Oh shit! Has anyone told Cabancho about her? I can't remember.
You know what? Instead of you mentioning it, I'll mention it just for
Okay.
Well,
just
to
for
be fair,
continuity sake.
Cabancho's heard the name.
Yeah, but
No
I
one's
wasn't
told. I don't think.
there.
Yeah, no one's told
To
Cabancho.
be fair, he never asked.
He says,
That is
I
also
didn't know I to ask. Like it wasn't a thing to ask because like he doesn't know of its existence.
yeah. So like,
Anyway.
for all Cabancho knows, Abrota is a stranger. For all of us,
Yeah.
like, oh,
She is
Oh.
yeah, he says simply, an inattentive progenitor.
And why is this relevant to you? Maybe you are just a goodwill adventurer who's just appears every couple of centuries to defend their land, but are you associated with these guys at all, or?
Associated. I stand in the company of no foul beasts. I am the umbral shadow that Thelatos casts from on high. The shadow that walks where he cannot.
Thelatos is the
The sun god.
wait, didn't we kill that? No.
no.
You were in
No,
his temple.
Thelatos.
I think
Yeah,
the
okay, that's why.
mask. I think the mask was Palatos.
Okay, no, Thelatos is the okay. That's where I heard the name. I was trying to remember where I heard the name from. That's right, the temple. Oh, I thought Thelatos was about like nothing too extravagant. As I look at his gold and black armor.
And he says, I bear only that which I have earned.
That is fair enough.
And as for the beasts of the night, I do not associate with them, but I am of their number. As for Abrota, we have unfinished business.
You seen her around?
Wait. When did you last see her?
Yeah. Is Ani shouting that?
He says, the Kehoe were strangers to me then.
That doesn't answer. I'm sorry. Is that relevant to anyone else? I asked if he last saw her, and I don't know if that's relevant.
He says, for their sails had not yet reached these shores.
Oh, a long time ago.
That was the last time you saw her.
Yep.
Okay. That's okay. I just want to make sure I got that.
Did you put a mask on her?
He says, no.
Start looking at Lon like, that's awfully a specific question to ask.
I sought
But
sought to have out her heart and to destroy her.
Oh. I see that didn't go well. Sorry, that was rude of me.
Some hunts last longer than others. But you are correct. I have not yet succeeded.
Have you had any luck tracking her?
This quarry has newly returned to my fields. I believe she has passed to the south. However, the people had need of me here.
Cool. So we're kind of a group that's gonna I guess hired to take care of the problem of all this. Tend to like ways around, like points to the bodies of all this stuff. So any information would be very helpful.
The vampire's curse is a long one. But you mean the recent disturbances.
Yes.
There number 3 counts of issue. 1. The ancient ruler, his form made perfect, in his summer palace. The second, the cabal, which once gave orders to the likes of these, now they run rampant. I believe they were recently attacked. He looks you up and down and says, perhaps I already know the doer of the deed.
Hey.
Lastly, there is the young ruler. Of the night no more than 2 centuries. He seeks to retake what he has lost, but he is more lost than he could ever imagine. Still, he creates issue. To destroy them, or drive them out, or put them into bondage, will not end the curse. But, if your employer is who I think she is, it should satisfy her.
So we have another key figure that we need to look out for, which is a young in quotes, vampire king?
You say that to him?
So, oh, I guess, yeah. Like, so another key figure is like a vampire, and one leading all the other vampires, a relatively young one.
He once ruled this realm. Yes,
Okay.
young compared to the ancients you have faced, but he trails off and says he has found his ways into a deal of danger greater than many of his seniors. Do not approach him lightly. Still, he has yet to violate the law. So I do not hunt him, yet.
I
Would
don't
you?
mean to be rude, but what are you?
He says, I stand before you.
Are
Is
you a
it-
spirit, a sword saint, a mortal?
He says, I am none of these things. I am simply Velatos's hand in the night. And by way of explanation, he undoes the face guard of his helmet and rears back his teeth, his lips, to show you his fangs.
Huh.
Okay.
So I guess vampires in the Teltos, in the underground Teltos church wasn't a uncommon, shouldn't be an uncommon thing. Okay.
If you refer to the squatters who held their cabal.
Squatters. yeah.
Some ancients were kept in that place, who had been better kept in storage. I believe their goods and corpses were pilfered by some upstarts.
Wait, are you telling me that the helmet I have could possibly belong to a vampire?
Where did you get this helmet?
Yeah, no, I was more like asking. Yeah, sure, I'll ask him. Oh, I
You sure you
found
want
it.
to ask the person that hunts people down for breaking laws if
Yeah,
you've
he hunts
broken a law?
vampires. He hunts down vampires who are killing people. I have merely.
You literally just said he hasn't broken any laws, so he won't hunt it.
I have merely acquiesced. I'm sorry, I have merely acquired. No, I don't ask him this. I asked much more like just saying out loud, asking you leave. There's a chance that this thing I took is from a vampire.
It's not impossible. Although, it would be kind of strange that they would have a vampire in the Hall of the Venerated Dead. Although, it's also very strange they had vampires under the Sun God's Temple now, isn't it? There's lots of levels to strangeness to what you've uncovered.
Okay, I'm glad we got that out of the way. This just things like, oh, that's very interesting.
Yeah. There's something going on here that does not measure up, but what it is precisely, who's to say? The Night Hunter says to you simply, I am the Night Hunter. Who I was before is forgotten. The great beasts still stalked the land in that time. It is a different age. I awaken only when there is offering. I keep the law of the night.
Someone make an offering?
He nods. And he says, 3 months ago, a man opened his wrist into my mouth, and after a long slumber, I awoke. Blood freely given drove me to consciousness. His daughter had been turned to a vampire against her will. By the ancient stories, he managed to learn of me, although many of the texts seem to have been destroyed or doctored. He found authentic knowledge. He mentioned a seer. He found his way to me and offered blood, and so I awoke. I discovered those who had turned his daughter, and rendered justice.
What is the name of that guard who says he's named after his Faja? We should ask him.
Grigori?
Yeah, is this person's name Grigori?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm gonna ask that.
Would you ask if the person's name is Grigori?
Yeah, the person who woke him up, because Grigori's father said he's the one that told him these stories.
He shakes his head
Shit.
and says,
Oh.
he was a man far to the north. I have roamed the land since. Much has changed since last I was awoken.
Yes. Alrighty. Well, does anyone else have any questions for undead warrior.
He says,
Need assistance with anything?
he says, I hunt alone, but I do offer you these words. You have shown yourselves valiant in battle, and perhaps valiant indeed. But you will need to be cunning. Bring with you the clay root and hemlock when you pass through the gates of the city to come.
Are those both plants?
Yeah, you can roll nature to know what clay root is.
And hemlock? Or do I not? Do I already know what
You,
hemlock is?
I'm going to guess that you know what it is.
What kind of previous historical knowledge did you have with hemlock?
Tunto smart boy.
Yeah. So, Tento, yeah, you know. Furthermore, you know that open, sunny fields is a great place to find hemlock, just out in the open. Oh yeah, you know that clay root is a type of water flora that grows on the banks of large rivers and sort of like the muddy soil that sometimes gets exposed to the sun directly during low tides. And you can sort of, it's kind of like wild rice. You can sort of like, paddle for it.
Oh.
But furthermore with that, you know that clay root is actually used as a stimulant.
Oh, okay.
You also know that there was a doping incident at the Spring Games.
Oh. So he's asking. He's telling.
He's telling
Telling us
you, have
We
hemlock.
should bring. Yeah.
Bring
we should bring those
hemlock
things.
and clay root with you before you come through the gates of the next city that you were to travel through. That's what he tells you, and he says, I give you this. And he produces from his side a shell. And it is a black and gold shell with brilliant ripples across its emanite. It looks painted, but on closer inspection, it is its organic color and shade. And he says, if you have need of me, blow upon this, and I will come.
Do you require more blood to keep going?
He says,
Look, Zion, are you offering?
I mean, I do not have
I was just like, can you produce Zion?
blood.
he says, I do not require much blood, but blood freely given is the only kind I take. I will have need for it in the end.
Do you have something to hold blood in? I don't know. Do you need to get fresh or?
He kind of taps his stabbers, and he says, there are ways to preserve it, but I tend to travel light.
Oh, he's kind of just looking at the bloody mess that's left by the campfire.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Yeah, he emphasizes, he sees where you're looking, he says, freely given.
I mean, since we're muscle mixture top, right? Tenta just pulls out a dagger, like, wrist, hand. Which one's less dangerous for me? It probably just stab my palm.
You stab the
Yeah,
palm.
just the middle of your palm.
Yeah, just like
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, so he sees this. He nods.
Should probably get closer to you.
He sees this, he nods, and
Can you even reach his face?
He's got a kneel.
yeah, he does kneel, and you guys hear the, and you feel it like there's a numbing sensation, but also a pleasant sensation as like the suck happens on the palm. Don't get too deep into what that feels like, but it feels good.
Only's
Pray
just
do
gonna
tell.
do this, by the way.
Wait, who are you healing?
It's mass healing word, so
Yeah.
it should be able to.
Heal 8. Heal 8.
Yeah.
Do I take any damage from the sucking?
You take 1 damage from the suck, and he raises himself and he says, "Many thanks. I shall use this sucker. Continue. Call me with that shell sparingly. It shall work but once." And he nods and he says, "The night awaits. There are no further vampires will disturb your slumber this night." And with that, he nods with vast spear in hand. He almost seems to meld into the night. You can see a shape moving, but it's almost like how Kabancho can't be seen with dark vision properly in the shadows.
I thought that was gonna be like it's like Tears thing. I was like, oh, that's cool.
But yeah, you guys have destroyed the vampire bodies, and I presume you head to bed.
I'm gonna toss the shell to Lonnie. You should probably keep this.
Are you sure you're not gonna steal it like the seal?
What? The seal was given to me. What are you talking about?
You all got you.
Lonnie's pressing X to doubt. Lonnie's pressing X.
Yeah, you all got seals of authority.
Oh, we all got one?
Yeah, everybody got.
But Kabancho's missing his.
You basically got like a
So never mind then. So Kabancho just lost his.
Yeah,
Okay.
come on. I don't know what you're talking about, Lonnie. We all have our own seals.
No, I missed that detail. Well,
I forgot that detail.
so Kiki, we might have met a Brota before. And maybe the reason that she's not trapped anywhere anymore.
Lumi is giving a very judgmental look to everyone in the show right now.
So, all of this happening to all these people, kind of take the ownership of that?
What
sure you guys
what
did this
was
for
it
good
again?
reason,
Like
right?
what was this again? Like did we just like come across like a seal?
We came across a coffin.
You came across an ultra sealed with holy symbols coffin that had like a hilarious Russian nesting doll level of layers. And and you just went pop, pop, pop on all.
No,
of them.
there was a reason we noticed it in the first place though.
I don't know what you were looking.
I don't know what the reason
You
is.
went looking for something, and you found it in
Okay,
storage
you know
in the
what?
Brass Eye Citadel.
So we were in a place where a lot of
Okay, you're drifting off.
oh well we were in a place where people did a lot of experiments on a lot of unwilling people. So we thought that this we thought it was something good to do.
Honestly, while he was here, we should ask him if he knew anything about the Brass Eye Citadel, since we found her in their storage.
So, if this vampire is this dangerous, how did these people capture it in the first place? Like, what
With
did they
the
use?
mask that we gave to here, and he never gave back.
Oh, I guess you weren't there for that. That mask got destroyed.
Wait, what?
Was Lasagna really not there for that? Oh shit!
don't think any
Wait,
of us were there for
was
that,
I the
'cause
only
that
one who
was
was
the-
there about that?
You guys weren't there. It was the other group.
It was the
Yeah,
other
it was
group.
the other
I was
group.
there too.
Oh right, there was a short time where you were with the Tears.
I was with the other group.
Yeah, you
I was
fucked
like,
off for a bit.
Holy shit! I completely forgot you guys weren't there. Yeah, no. T was fighting against a fell something, some powerful being.
Faye.
Yeah, Faye, powerful being thing, and I thought the mask, since it was used for sealing, I thought it would work on that Faye creature. It did for a bit, but he blew up the mask.
Although now
So
getting
the
more
powerful relic thing that helped us capture the vampire is gone.
Yes. Apparently.
All right. Do you guys have a plan B?
Diplomacy.
I mean, she seemed pleasant enough. He did try to charm all of us and did succeed, but I thought it was just.
So was it
mean, she
pleasant
was a-
because you were charmed, or was she pleasant because she was just genuinely pleasant?
I wasn't. She seemed reasonable, though. I just thought that she didn't want people to fire. That kind of really all. That was just all that really happened. Like, it was floating off the ground. Some people didn't notice that. That was kind of weird, and then snapped out of it.
Yeah, I didn't notice that at all.
But she didn't really do anything. She did help us.
Well, she's not looking to take control, and she's not actively causing all of this. She's just inspiring people to
I don't think that's any better.
be a disturbance to the peace.
I don't think that's any better.
I mean, at least she's just influencing people and not directly controlling people to do this. There is a difference.
But is there?
Yes.
Hey. I see. So the next time I convince someone to steal something from me, it's not my fault they stole it.
Oh no, it's still your fault. It's still her fault.
It's
But-
not any better.
Hoofington,
I'm not having this conversation.
Hoofington neighs loudly.
This is a dumb conversation. I'm not having this with you.
Oh, I'm going back to bed.
All right.
Kiki, are you still able to clean stuff?
Yeah.
I presume Lonnie is like has like a lot of blood on her from the explosion.
Yeah.
Your tent's also fucked up.
No, that one wasn't my tent.
Oh. I don't know whose tent that was. Though.
That's the decoy tent that you guys set up because you set up 3 tents even though you only needed 2. The decoy
I like
is doing
it.
his job.
Yeah, Nico did a wonderful job. I'm glad we had that.
But yeah, I'll cast Prestidigitation to clean up Lonnie.
Yay.
I look over at the camps. I'm like, that's gonna take all night. I'm not doing that.
Lonnie is gonna try to cast Mending on the tent and then do a wide berth of the blood pool and enter the tent from the back.
All right. So, does anything else? Did you guys do anything else during the night?
Okay, can I continue cleaning up my helmet to make it look as shiny as possible?
Yeah, you keep it nice
You'll
and
be like
polished.
banging your helmet in the middle of the night while we're all trying to sleep.
What do you mean?
Polishing
Oh,
doesn't
hey,
require.
Hey, not everyone's
Polish-
asleep, alright? Zion's awake.
Mm.
Also, polishing doesn't require banging per se.
Oh, that's fair. You said you were polishing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, so yeah, you guys are disturbed, but not for more than 10 minutes. So I don't think this is gonna fuck your long rest. So, everybody sleeps the night, I presume.
Yeah. Long rest button. Yeah.
All right. Sun comes up. You all gain a long rest. The tree across the way is slightly charred, but otherwise fine. With the coming light, you guys hear popping and smoke as you see the vampire spawn and the Virca Locus reduced to ash.
Well, good to know sunlight still does that to them.
Yeah. So
In the morning, you see Cabancho just kind of have his alchemy set out and just brewing some potions again.
I have spell slots again.
Oh, we should probably grab some of that clay root thing and what was the other thing you said we
Hemlock.
should have? Hemlock. There you go, hemlock.
yeah.
Oh, and everyone with good berries at this point, they've
They
gone
hatch.
bad and clawed their way out of the cocoon and have crawled away.
Oh my gosh, I was joking. They actually hatched.
You see a little spiderling going doop, 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 with the grass.
I don't
I
think
don't-
I'll use spiders for my own.
I also don't think
Yeah, you
that's how
guys are
cocoons work, but okay.
That's how cocoons work in Rosen Creek, all right?
I don't think this is how spider cocoons work, but okay.
Again, they're not spiders. They're
Why
bugs
would
that
they
I
not?
But I
captured
mean,
and
Why
like-
would they
cast a
not be
spell on.
spiders?
But I mean, like a cocoon that a spider made. I'm pretty sure they don't exactly make it so that their prey can just wander freely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not like paralyzing them forever until they're dead and starve to death. That's cruel.
So we're eating live bugs. You don't even have like the decency to kill them.
No, that's the most preserved form that they can be in. Living.
I think we need to look at what the definition of preserved is. I'm just saying.
Lonnie is now going to choose to not accept any more good berries from Kabancho.
Yeah. So
Just fucking crawled out of my bag. It's like, Camacho, what the fuck?
Like this still would have happened in the middle of the night, so you guys probably won't notice unless you
Oh,
notice
okay,
your
sir,
bag
fair enough.
moving.
Lonnie had last watch.
How
I
big
presume
was
Lonnie
it?
had last watch, so she might have seen it.
yeah.
Lonnie actually might.
All right. So you guys wakey, and yeah. Does someone want to give me the survival and take the time to you wander onto a fucking field and look for that shit and wander down by the river and look for that shit?
Sure, I'll do it.
Multiple
Good
people
roll.
do it.
Damn.
Yeah, multiple people can do it. You get more hemlock and clay root that way.
I will help you, Lonnie, and give you advantage.
It's survival, you said?
Yes.
Thanks.
So Lonnie,
Thanks
you
for the
wander
advantage.
around by the-
you guys.
Tento, you
guys
walk
put
out
your
into the
hands-
field and you're like, ah, shit, there it is, and yeah, you have X1 bushel of hemlock, Tento. You're not near the river right now, so you'll need to wait until you come to that point. But it's the
Man,
next
wait.
day, and it's time to ride. So
When you
Give
guys
me-
put your heads together, you can do whatever you want.
give me your tests to like for the day's travel. For anybody who wants to drive really well or really like lay down a fat rip on the you're perceiving everything.
Jeez.
You perceive
I
like through the
I have
hills.
sight beyond sight. Zion found us some very
Oh
nice
my
rocks.
fucking God. I think every single roll I've done, besides like 2, have been less than 2 digits. Been single digit rolls.
Are you guys okay? I'm just looking at everyone.
These
Like, are you-
smaller rocks are more digestible.
I'm just
That
looking
was
at-
a problem last time. The rocks are too big.
I'm just looking at everyone's like, are you okay? do I? do you guys need help?
Alright,
Actually,
it's been a while. I was
actually, with
literally-
Zion, I expect this from Zion, so I'm not gonna ask it that.
In fact, it's healthy to ingest some rocks once in a while.
Aren't there some animals that actually do that to help with digestion?
So you arrive in like the evening, afternoon, but you come to the river first. You see the mighty river coming to Dia de Moros in the distance, and there's reeds and shit. Does anybody want to roll up your pant legs, hop in there, and try and find some clay root?
Yeah. Do I have to roll survival
Lonnie,
again?
Lonnie is just going to try to teach Zion that, like, yes, these can aid in digestion, but like our bodies are made so that we don't do this. So this
think-
really doesn't help us actually at all.
I think dogs do that, don't they? Or do they do something else similar?
Dogs eat grass and other things. To
Okay.
help with,
apparently they're
not
called
with digestion, but to balance their digestion or something.
gastroliths, and a lot of them are birds and reptiles. But some fish, amphibians, seals, whales, and
Fish do it too?
I see. I guess not all animals are the same.
Wait. Can you roll like
no,
know,
they're
what-
very much not.
what would one roll to teach something to another being?
I
What?
mean, for the relevant skill, I presume.
I just want to see. I honestly just want to see a roll horribly fail and just like Zion just like grasping the concept because Lonnie didn't teach it properly.
Yeah.
But you don't have to make a roll for that. It's just for my amusement.
Fuck you.
You do a good job teaching, but you're not sure if your student absorbs the full lesson.
Zion gets it, but it doesn't get it.
It has the intent to eat like everything, so
You know, that's
Actually, you know
very
what?
true.
Penta might need the help digesting stuff. The rest of us, though, I think our bodies can handle it without the help of rocks.
You know what?
understood.
That's fair. That's fair. Do I find clay root?
Yeah, you do. You splash around the water a little. You rip up the clay root. It's like a very clotted plant with a thin white main body, and it has like a bulb that seeps like an orange ruddy red.
Oh, ew.
And,
I didn't think it'd be like dark red like that, or ruddy red, yeah.
Yeah, and so you've got these two herbs, one of which is a stimulant, the other which is a poison.
Do I remember which one's which?
Yes, you
Mimic
remember,
acid.
you remember that hemlock is in fact poison.
So the clay root is a stimulant. Do I just put it in as regular clay root? Do I have any amount of it, or just like a bushel like the hemlock?
Yeah, it's a X1 bushel of clay root.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, you arrive by the lush fields, the vibrant fields, and you arrive before the city as the day is growing late. And you know, the gates are open, but the guards do mark well your approach, and a pair of them come out to greet you. And they
Hello.
say, "Oh, travelers, anyone coming with animals and vehicle must declare their cargo before entering Dimoros." Kind of like, you know,
Have any?
poking around, looking around.
Okay, I'm pretty sure we don't have anything of note on there, really.
Like, but
I think we
what?
just have a bunch of rations.
It says, if you're bringing food, you need to declare it.
Do we have rations on there? Ancho, what do we have on the cart?
I mean, I'm assuming all our travel supplies.
Yeah.
Besides that, nothing in particular.
All right. So you let them root around.
Yeah.
go
Dude. I mean, yeah, I don't really have a strong reason to deny these
Yeah.
guards.
One of them looks at Zion and says, "Remove your helmet. I need to see your face."
It doesn't do that.
Zion grab its head.
Can Lonnie try to minor illusion of face
What?
underneath the helmet?
I don't know if you want to cast a spell in front of a guard that's trying to inspect us.
I don't know if they're
you want to throw up a googly eyes?
Lonnie will. No. It's not. Not. Oh, Garon's afraid. Fuck. Who's a human we actually know?
Oodly?
I was
Is
gonna
that-
say Italy too, but I'm like,
do you try to?
I'm gonna be
you wanna
honest,
use
I
her
don't think we know a lot of
face?
humans.
Do you try and remove your head, or do you just like, you know?
I mean, there's a bunch of people in Clandestine that are humans,
think we
but
should
I don't know if we want to
mimic
use their
them.
face
Yeah.
either.
Lonnie is going to try to minor illusion Uli's face.
And the hoplite sees, I guess, an illusion of Zion taking its mask off.
No, she's just aiming to have it under. She doesn't
Right.
know if Zion
Right.
can remove the head, but if the head.
I was kind of waiting for that before I interject. I wanted to see if
does
actually
Zion try and
would
remove the
remove his
head, or
Can Zion remove its head?
I don't think so,
That's
but I don't know that
No.
actually. Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Damn. All my efforts were for naught.
Do you like pantomime removing it, or like?
No, Lonnie was
Uh,
just doing the
alright,
face. She
alright.
doesn't.
So,
our
as
friend
like
here.
before this goes any further, Kibancho is gonna hold up our seal and
Come you don't have a
say,
seal.
Oh, you found it.
"Oh yeah,
Taylor's gonna look at Camacho's like, what are you doing?
Yeah, one of them says, "What's the matter? Is your helmet stuck to your armor?" And they peer over and under and they say, I see. Well, they don't look like anybody we're looking for." And they say, why don't you move your helmet?"
Are you guys looking for
it's
someone?
kind of stuck.
And wait. When did Kabancho lose his seal?
oh, it was a joke that we were saying because we all thought that there was only one seal and
No,
Peppo
yeah.
stole it, but no, we didn't realize that.
No,
All
everyone
of
has
us
got
had
a
a
seal.
seal.
I was just joking.
So you do whip it out and say that.
Yeah, I whip it out and saying like, so what is the extra security required here?
And they say, "Oh," and they say, I see that you're on the orders of our glorious Eliana Kayakos. Of course, we'll delay you no further. No extra security measures yet. We are just inspecting this as it is within the class of vehicle that is merchant travel. If you were bringing goods, we would have to tax them."
I see.
Oh, we
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 do
just
hear
use the cart
news.
for convenience.
We do hear news from the north of disappearances along the road. Thus far, though, the temple has summoned additional people to deal with the matter. It's above my pay grade. I just guard the gate.
Fair enough. Thank you for your help.
He nods and he says, "For luck, do the Anax's bidding. Bring victory once again to our glorious land." He stomps the butt of his spear on the stones.
Then they're just gonna say, "Jeez, man, Camacho, you don't even whip out the seal every time. We're trying to be quiet about this shit."
It's you who fucking brings it out to the most normal random guard that's not even questioning you.
Yeah, so the
What?
guards peel out and like let you guys move forward.
Yeah. Okay.
And
You're the most normal guard.
Tento rides
There's
in
a
on
crime
Huffington.
scene.
Yeah, he wasn't even asking to anything. He didn't really stopping you.
Yeah,
You just
so
whipped
I
that out
needed
saying,
to
"Hey,
stick.
give me answers."
Yeah, because I need an answer. The fuck are you? We could have just gone
Yeah.
past them about fucking whipping out the
Yeah,
seal.
so you guys see like
Could've.
there are many like points of like like market and the like. This is a bustling city between two rivers. There is the scent of fish in the market. There is motion in the streets, and you guys are God, I have no way to move things in the back unless I've selected you. Sorry, so I move you on top of the cart. Otherwise, you'll appear below it. Yeah, you guys are riding through the city. In the process of riding through the city, you do overhear various Ischydonian commoners saying, "I hear there's been some commotion by the ruins of the old boarded-over mausoleum. That's bad news. I know. They say there's even been tale of possessions. You mean ghosts? Surely the temple will deal with this. The priests are all on the prowl around the gates and rivers, like they're on the lookout for something, especially at night. They have no care to give to the desecrated grave of the dishonored. Well, Ve Victus, thus to the conquered. Well, glad we are to live in the reign of the Kirkoses. Indeed." And they kind of, walk away with their oblivion and peace. But as you roll through town, whether it is the market, or the inn, or the tavern, or anywhere else, people talk about the fact that, like, yeah, there's people on the lookout, and in fact, you see some people in, like, priestly garb and dressed as acolytes up and down the street. They overlook you, but they're clearly looking for, like, something, and you see they have spells up. Like, you can see they're concentrating on something, they're looking around. They pass over you.
Do I know what religion they might be, or like which deity they might be?
Yeah, so their robes indicate that they are the worshippers of a local deity. And there's some Thelatos representation, but not much. Some of them wear the robes of the common faith that you were familiar with from elsewhere in the Empire. Dressed like the Wandering Saishi and the like. But others bear the symbol of a blue eye. And this is a known symbol of the divinity Oculos.
Blue-eyed white Oculus?
Oh, that's an interesting character
Yes.
model right there.
So
Cool.
they're the knowledge. Yeah. So they are seeking knowledge, and they're sometimes associated with. You know that they have an oracle that they have at like a different temple that isn't here, but they're associated with divination and knowledge, and they're concentrating on spells and walking around, often with guards accompanying them.
Do they look like panicky or like is this
Roll,
like
roll,
just
roll, roll an insight because they look like they're like like just walking around inspecting.
dang? I rolled a
There is
14.
tension among the common guards. They're not sure what they're looking for. They don't know who or what might be a threat. Lonnie, you look at them and you hear a whisper in the back of your skull. And the words that they chanted to invoke the spell reach you, and you think that they're trying to detect undead.
Wait,
Yeah.
it didn't go off when they went near Camacho?
No.
Oh, I guess he's not
You,
dead.
fuck you.
I already tried that, by the way.
Yeah.
I know.
So you guys,
Just getting a second opinion, you know.
it's getting late, and you probably might want to find a place to stay at some point. But you do notice at the heart of the city there is a destroyed building. Well, not a destroyed building, but one that's been allowed to fall into great disarray, and the upper floor no longer seems enterable.
I wonder what happened there. Is there anyone I could talk to?
Yeah, sure. I mean, there's a commoner who's sort of on the street corner nearby. He's kicked up on his heels, squatting, and he sees you guys, and he's like, "Oh, you must be some company of mercenaries, or maybe merchants with expensive cargo.
Very
Come,
much
come. Are you looking for a local guide? 1 gold."
Yeah, okay, sure.
You flip it to him. He bites it.
Yeah.
He says, "Ah, fine currency. How can I help you? The city of
Curious what-
Diamoros. I put at your disposal."
Curious what happened to the building over there.
Ah, I see you are not up on our recent history. That is the Mausoleum of House Miktros. House Kirkos defeated them in centuries past and took control of Ischydonian. House Kirkos is strong and dynamic, but House Miktros was weak and fawning. They made overtures of submission to Actigoros, and they do not seek to bring them into the imperial fold.
Is it? So why is their building destroyed? I'm sorry, I must have missed that part.
Well, when the family was defeated, their mausoleum partially collapsed. No one has bothered to spend the exorbitant amount of money it would take to rebuild a marble and gold structure that is... You see, like it was once brilliant, although it looks like a lot of like the marble has been stripped off and it's more like stone at this point. He says, "Well, I'm given to understand the mausoleum below should be fully intact. They say in recent nights, one can almost hear howling nearby. People have seen strange events like cold water beginning to boil suddenly, and other liquids turning to ice. Howling in the night. Apparitions. Spirits." blue flame. Perhaps it's related to why there are so many priests and monks in town, but I haven't seen any of them go over there.
Interesting.
He leans in conspiratorially and says,
Ooh.
"You wouldn't happen to be interested in what's below, would you?"
Well, let me ask your opinion. What do you think is below there?
The inner mausoleum, where House Miktros's greatest treasures are stored.
Oh, that was the case. I'm surprised no one else has tried to.
Oh, they've tried. But they don't come back
How
alive.
do you know this?
Well, he looks back and forth and says, "I'm a local guide. People come to me. People looking to fetch things. I can't help but notice you don't seem to have much in the way of cargo in your cart, which tells me you're not merchants. And you all seem very well armed, which tells me you're not peaceful, per se, in the derogatory sense. And you're interested in things other people don't think to ask about. Inquisitive. Yes, I've known some people like you, but you're much stronger than all the others. Perhaps you're wiser, too. I'll tell you this much. When you first descend into the mausoleum, there's an altar with a mortar and pestle. Do not ignore that mortar and pestle. It is the key, or perhaps the lock, that you must maneuver if you are to pass beyond.
Thanks for the info. A good in.
Can I insight check him on how, I guess, trustworthy he's sounding?
Yeah, insight, sure. I mean, like, this guy isn't lying to you. He's definitely, like, seen other adventurers go there and failed to come back. And it's...
No, yeah, I can see that. I can see that. Yeah.
He's not... He does think he's giving you a hot tip about the mortar and pestle.
Ooh.
He's definitely doing this in the hopes that if you are successful, you will remember him and give him a tip.
Yes. Thank you for such wonderful information. Now, can you point us towards the inn?
He's like, "Oh, yes. We have the 3 storks there, and the red spear there, and, oh, if you are looking for wine at this hour, the finest wine sink that also has room is Digamoros's campsite, which is over there in the circle, and you go down below the street. Very nice hearth. You see the giant chimney, yes. It's a wonderful place." And he goes on, and he gives you, like, a ton of options. It's a city.
Which one is closest to the destroyed place?
He says, "Oh, by the mausoleum."
Yeah.
He says, "Yes." He says, "That would be the last watch." He leans in and says, "Between you and me, it's inhabited by political types."
All right, what's the next closest one?
He's like, he's like, "That would be the Brothers Barley. They have fine beer there." And he
Is
points
that
to.
one occupied by the political type too?
He says, "Oh, no. Much more the beer drinking sort.
Perfect.
Certain foreigners are very fond of the thing. More of a wine
Yeah.
guy myself."
Teach their own. Thank you very much.
Certainly.
Tento's gonna toss another coin.
He grabs, he's like, "Very generous. Do seek me out and tell your friend,
What's this guy's name again?
Timyon.
Timyon. Okay.
Timyon, the
Of
local
course, Timyon.
guide of Didymoros." And Timian kind of, like gives a da-da-da-da, and he fucks off. You guys, I presume, find an inn and stay the night in
Here,
the Brothers Barley and enjoy a fine drink.
well,
A really
definitely-
trustworthy guy. He gives good information.
I look at Kablanch is like, are you guessing that much, or
No, that's what he
not saying you're
generally
wrong, but I don't think you're the most observant person.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm a good judge of character. I judge you.
While they're walking, can Zion just look and see if there's like a sewage system?
No, Zion, the return to the water yet. We still need you
So
here.
Zion like thuds around and looks for anything that seems like it would be like subterranean, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So you note that on the outer ring of the city, there doesn't seem to be much, and there's above ground sluiceways, which are pretty nasty. However, there do seem to be some things involving. You see, there's an aqueduct that goes, a small aqueduct which goes to the Acropolis, and the Acropolis appears to be the happening place. It's where the Mausoleum is, but it's a big, wide Acropolis. So there's lots of stuff and businesses up there, not just government buildings. And you guys managed to get up there. There's no extra check for it. Dinamorris seems to be pretty open. And here you'll occasionally see like holes in the ground with like stone around them that seem to be maybe they're cisterns. Maybe they're gathering water there. But you also note, based on them, give me an investigate to derive this information, actually. Okay. Zion calculates, based on drainage engineering, where these things would have to be on the basis of their intake for the most mathematically ideal intakes, and also based on the foundation stones used for different buildings and how far they seem to be inset, determines which buildings do and do not have basements. So, the palace, the barracks, the mausoleum, and the Temple of Oculos are the only buildings that have underground elements. Everything else appears to be cisterns. Cisterns and sewage, which are kept well, segregated. So that's it.
All right. It will just jot down a rough, I guess, underground map.
Yeah. So, night falls. And you guys manage to find the Brothers Barley, which is a fine inn, and there is also space to park the cart out back. Do you do so?
Does it have a nice stable for Hoofington to the rest on? And Ayala and Hazel.
It's a fairly packed stable, but you find room, yeah?
Tintel's just gonna, after they rest up, it was like, so, who wants to go to the mausoleum?
Why don't we all go?
That's what I'm asking. Do you want to go?
Oh, I thought you were trying to go like with a few people.
But
No,
we are a few people. What are you talking about?
Alright, Tento. When I say a few people, I usually mean you and yourself. Usually.
Ah, me, myself, and I. Yeah, we are quite a few.
With
But,
that ego
anyways,
of yours, yes.
Yeah, I think we should go.
All
What
right.
time is it?
So is there still a curfew going on? Do we have to sneak
Well,
out?
so there's not a curfew in the city. The night gets late, and you overhear some people in the common room talking about, strange those deaths at the games, eh? And someone else says, I hear there were drugs involved. Drugs? Ah. And someone says, nasty business. And you guys, it's like sun is just set, and you're free to slide out later or right now. But yeah, it's only a few blocks to the mausoleum. What's important to note is you might not want to get seen going to this mausoleum for a couple of reasons, unless you're willing to flash your badge at the time. Does someone want to give me a stealth to kind of stealth field this group?
Can we go by underground?
So how late at night is it? Because depending on how late, I can go mostly undetected.
True. So you know that the mausoleum the mausoleum is north of the temple. If you were to go to the Temple of Oculos and root around in their basement, you might be able to find an abutting wall. It's not inconceivable that there's a hidden passage between a mausoleum and a temple, a mausoleum of a ruling family and a temple that presumably the ruling family paid for. It's not impossible. You don't have any reason to believe it exists, but you do know that based on your logical map, those walls have to be adjacent. That being said, there could be up to 15 feet of stone. Now, you have ways through 15 feet of stone.
We do.
Ways that people are probably going to notice. So,
Okay.
I don't know what you're talking about. He can just phase through 15 feet of stone. Or
Well,
it can
only
phase through 15
Zion.
feet.
Only Zion can do
yeah,
that.
so
So
Zion.
Zion and one other person can do that.
that doesn't help.
So do you want to try go to the Temple of Akos and sneak around and see if you can find like a basement and see if there's either a secret passage or a wall you want to blow up, or?
No, I was just thinking we can use like the underground system to
Oh, okay.
get near without being seen as much.
Oh, okay. So you want to descend into the cistern.
Yeah.
So, possible. Some of them are large enough to house people. It's going to be a squeeze for anybody who isn't like a small person. And it's going to involve some climbing because there's no, like, not intended to be entered. But you could use it to avoid detection. You know that near the circle of this, this place is off, you're going to be able to get down into it, and you'll be able to get back up, like, across the street from the mausoleum. It's going to require strength, though, or twisty of wristy. So athletics or acrobatics should be required from everyone, and Lumi does not have a hope in hell of making those checks.
I could ask some pixies to make us rats.
Doesn't that give us the intelligence of
You
rats?
could. The thing is, you would probably fall into the hole if you were rats.
Or some other creature.
I mean, maybe a monkey.
Or-
A monkey would be good at this.
Oh yes,
Or
let's watch the
bats.
group of
Bats?
monkeys.
Bats? You
Group
could
of
fly.
monkeys just walk across.
You wouldn't even. Yeah, you wouldn't even go
It's
into the
just all
cistern.
spiders.
Maybe let's not do bats in a place that's worried about vampires. Like I don't know, like what kind of vampire legends they have, but
We'll just go around saying blah blah blah.
Or hear me out, guys. We could just sneak in there,
That is what we were doing.
but like without the magics or convoluted routes in.
hey Scout,
Yeah.
you remember previous ventures trying to sneak around, right?
I remember Zion being really good at it. I think I just blocked out what you guys, how well you guys did.
I mean, you guys, as in you included.
No. I was very good at this.
Ah, yes.
I am a
That
thief.
time where we all failed together, except Zion.
I don't remember. What are you talking about?
I actually don't remember either. I'm just making sure.
I say shushy. You weren't alive.
Damn man, too soon.
Jason, you're right here. It doesn't matter.
Wait, flying snakes? What?
Can we be? Yeah, let's
we
be a
all
bunch of
be
flying
Daisy Noodle?
snakes.
There's actual flying snakes in the fly speed.
Yeah, it's a danger noodle. Danger
Yeah.
noodle's a flying snake.
So do you guys? Yeah. What do you do? You're in a room in an inn. You have to get like 3 or 4 blocks. You just go there. I mean, it's late at night. It's dark.
Yeah, I just say we unless we have like a foolproof plan, we could just go in there.
When do we ever have
Alright.
a foolproof plan?
All right, Tento, roll me that stealth.
Bonnie's just
good thing
going
I'm lucky.
to put on her
Oh my
vestige.
gosh!
Bonnie's just gonna put on
15.
her vestige just
Are
in
you
case.
fucking kidding me?
By the way,
Yeah, okay. I mean, 15's still not awful, but
Yeah,
that's still
so-
not really good.
Are we all rolling or just Tento?
I'm gonna let Tento be the one. So you arrive at the mausoleum's like very large doors on the far side from its main entrance, but the main entrance is long collapsed. This is the descent down.
I guess I can't wear the vestige again.
The doors may once have been barred from the inside, but this bar has long since been removed. They slide open when you press.
Haha.
So, you arrive. You stand, and you see to your north a blue glowing field. Before that, an altar and a pillar in the northeastern and northwestern corner. There are stairs here, and obviously you can step down.
Stone door gonna close us in again.
It doesn't seem to close behind you. You see a pillar to either side. You see a raised sort of like area to the north through this field, and there's pillars on either side. One pillar has been written in common, and one pillar has been written in. The red pillar is written in Kehoe. The green is in common. The red pillar says the heart.
Where'd everyone go?
The heart and soul must be as one, set to the task until it is done. Until it is done. Imbibe before the honored truth. Wait a minute. Hold on, I had the rhyme. Imbibe and know what is said, as the living, so to the dead. And he says, soul and heart pushed to the brink. The strength shall swell and rise, then sink. Know your measure and take it well. With white and gold, you'll get through hell. So these are the two pillars, and all along the walls are the inscriptions and markings of great Mictros heroes, bearing trident and spear, casting spell all around you, larger than life figures and great art. These two pillars have the following phrases. There's a mortar and pestle.
Any thoughts?
I don't know. This keyhole makes no sense to me.
Oh, it's in Kyo.
The red one is in. So
The red one's a kill, yeah.
Wait, like he can't read it or the words?
No, the words don't make sense.
Now, does it not make sense because you
heart-
don't? Okay, you can read it. That's okay. That's what she was asking.
No, but it's like it doesn't make any sense. Like the heart eats a soul, and you combine it. You set it down when it's finished. This next word I don't even know what it says, and it says it speaks the as it was alive, but now it's dead. Like it makes no sense. Like at least the other one at least rhymes, but
Is that what you have issues with?
The first one rhymes.
Yeah.
Yeah, translation seems a little spotty all of a sudden.
What's wrong with you? You're just a little spotty.
Well, actually, Tento, what's Tento's percentage on the Kyo? Roll me a D10. Or did you
I don't
master
think
it?
you
Tento-
words are better at me with Kyo.
Does Tento even know any Keyho? I thought Tento was like the one
He
person who
started
didn't.
learning it.
Oh, he did?
No.
I was like, I thought he was the one person
he
who
was doing
didn't.
Joseon. He was doing Joseon.
I rolled an 8.
Well, if you had, if you were, at 80% on your Keyho training, then you would do a better translation. As it happens, you see some boxes with lines.
I thought at this point everyone started Kyo.
Zion knows Kyo.
Yeah, so Zion, you read
Lonnie
this.
also knows Keyho.
Yeah, so Zion and Lonnie's no Kyo. You see.
Oh, you guys don't know Josian. I actually don't know it either. I kind of just write in, can read it, but that's
Yeah.
not the point.
Yeah, so you got low percentage. So you guys look at this script. What do you want to do with it? I would like to point something out. God, no, I don't want to point it out because I don't want to make this.
We
look
want
like
to
this.
understand it, but I think that might be a harder ask.
Yeah, the altar, it looks like it's got a plate for the place for the mortar and pestle, the big place in the middle, like when you're done with it. And if you look inside the bowl, you do see very ancient remnants of something flaked in the middle.
So
And also
At least-
maybe not so ancient because you still see a bit of coloration. Maybe gold at the center. Maybe other colors gradiating the side, but it's kind of dirty. Roll me investigate to really come at that mortar and pestle.
So we were told not to ignore this mortar and pestle.
Yeah,
We were
that's
also told to bring some specific herbs to this.
correct.
Yes, this is what it's do.
So
Yeah, and as Zion scrapes a middle finger on the inside the bowl, you reveal a layer. One is there's stuff in here. Some of it's mashed up as white, and some of it is a ruddy red. Yeah. So Shin, we'll continue that thought.
So we need dead man's moss, and what was that flower? The purple flower that was Orochi. Never mind.
Yes, you're correct. No, we need to put the clay root and the hemlock in there, but I don't know if there's any measurements that we need to.
Wait, we measure this
Do.
world?
Roll me
I
medicine.
don't know. Maybe they did back then. I don't
Do
know.
I know if they happen to symbolize a heart and a soul?
Well,
A plant.
this?
Kind of,
What?
because so the hemlock stops your heart, and the clay root invigorates your soul.
Yeah.
But also the clay root
I mean, with
invigorates the
enough
heart.
stimulants, you will stop your heart too.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, it's sort of. Up
It's
and
just
down.
rise and fall.
So, I mean, you guys have the herbs. This isn't really an herbalist's kit test here, but the test is you need to decide how much to take. Yeah. So Tento, here's about how this math breaks down.
Uh-huh.
Zion is a fucking robot.
Yeah, we
Moving
knew
on,
that.
we have two medium creatures with us, Lonnie and Kabancho.
Mhm.
Hello?
No,
I'm
sorry,
small.
Lumi. Sorry, Lumi.
Oh,
Okay.
Lumi. Okay, cool. Yeah.
Yeah, so medium creatures, right? Medium creatures, X2 dose safe, X3 dose question mark. Small
Oh.
creatures, X1 dose safe, X2 dose, question mark.
We have to ingest this shit. I see.
Well, you don't have to. You could just mix it.
Just snort it.
Um,
That thing's not too bad.
so if you wanna, do you wanna like put the hemlock and the other stuff in
Yeah.
there? All right, so
I want to start.
crunch it up and
Wait, who's better at this stuff than I am? Lonnie, come over here. You're better at grinding stuff than I am.
I am?
You know, I would think as a druid you are, yes.
so
You.
I put away my brewing kit.
with mortar and pestle you do it, and Tento, you set it down in the center, and the altar doesn't
Mhm.
glow, but it looks sharper to everyone. Like you can see details on it more crisply, and you can see in the line work on the stone, people consuming, supping of this. At the far edges are people who are fallen over dead. At the middle are people who are passing through the field, and in the inner are the people who are being held back by the field. But in the reverse, you see the people who are held back, dead. People in the middle who are passing through, struggling, and the people who are dead, almost if it's like spirits ascendant. It's hard to say, but they seem to be passing through some sort of barrier without issue. So mixed signals here from this tablet, but yeah, you and there's white, there's ruddy red, and it sort of creates this golden paste.
Well, I guess I'll go first. Yeah, Lonnie, you have any spells to detox people?
Yes.
All right, I'm gonna repeat to them. Safe dosages. 2 is safe for you. Actually, Zion, can you consume this?
Zion is a robot. You do not think that Zion is going to... Well, actually, Zion can consume food.
Mhm.
Zion can drink potions.
Okay, I just want to make sure. I was like, wait a second.
I
how's
guess
Zion?
Lonnie is going to just cast guidance.
Okay, so Zion is also a medium creature, right?
Yeah.
Okay, guys, 2 doses. It should be relatively safe. 3.
How many doses do we need?
That's a good question, and we're about to find out.
For science.
Let me try first.
Zion, I don't want you to try first.
Zion, I don't know if you're
anything,
going to tell us anything. Like, I don't know if you succeeding will tell us anything.
Yeah, this
Worst
might be
case scenario,
something
Tento
more.
goes down. We've got people to hold him out and bring him back up.
Yeah,
So Tento, you go in first. You go with the safe dose.
Oh no, I'm taking 2.
Okay, you take 2. Roll me a con save.
Okay.
Your legs go weak and your heart pounds hard in your chest. The world spins around you and you collapse.
Guidance can't help you.
I'm gonna use a twist of fate and try to give him better roll.
Man, I think I got rid of the one that actually did resistance. I think I actually got rid of resistance.
Yeah, and then guidance. Yeah, roll that d4 for guidance.
No, you
that's
can't use
worth
guidance
it.
for this.
Oh, 7.
Yeah, it's a saving
They
throw.
have
Guidance
resistance
12.
for this.
Okay, so Tento. You don't become poisoned. You stand back up. Like, you ready your feet. You saw the fate you might have suffered, and you feel light as a feather now. And like the world, like your eyes are electrified, your mind is racing, your hands are shaking, but you feel as if this barrier to your north would be easily traversable by you.
Am I high?
I don't think that Tento's ever done cocaine.
Oh, shit.
I don't know what's.
Does cocaine exist in this world?
Are you gonna become Breaking Bad now?
That's math. Slightly different. We all are.
I don't know. It's
Tento's
still
just gonna-
like in the same realm of we're gonna do hard drugs. Now we're gonna cook it, sell it.
I feel like I am energized and
Yeah, Tento, you feel like you're.
I also feel like I almost died there.
Yeah. So do you want to? Yeah. Does anybody else want to take sup of it now that they've seen Tento collapse?
Wait, before you guys take it, let me just see if I can go through the barrier first, because I would not recommend.
Yeah. Sure. So Tento, you want to walk through the barrier?
Yep, I'm just
You
gonna
walk through. You hear a sound of pacing as you walk through the barrier. In fact, and you see a dude. He turns to you, quite surprised. Yeah, he's bearing a breastplate, a brilliant breastplate. He has a spear. He writes himself. He looks at you and he says, "Who goes there?"
Hello? I thought this place was abandoned.
Everybody on the far side is hearing a muted. So, yeah, you guys see Tento is talking to someone, maybe? I mean, only one way to find out that. So, yeah, he says, I would have your name, stranger.
I am the stranger, but you're also a stranger to me too, so...
But we are in my mausoleum.
Your mausoleum?
Making you the stranger in my house.
Your house? I thought this place was abandoned yet again.
He says, but I am here.
You are, but I thought everyone that lived here was driven out.
Well, living is one thing. But who lives in a mausoleum? It's for the dead, after all. And here I am, occupying it. So, tell me your name, stranger, and you will have mine. You already know that this is my mausoleum, and that tells you quite a bit.
Name's Tento.
Tento. Where are you from, Tento?
Not around here.
Well, Tento, I'm not around here. I am Gylastus Mixtros, greatest ruler of this or any land. Yeah, alright, so you try the safe dose, Kabancho. Kabancho, you feel fine. Did you want to try and walk through?
Yeah.
You don't feel
Who is the
good,
current-
but you see this dude standing here. The current ruler is Kirkos, Eliana Kirkos.
Yeah, I thought Eliana Kikos was the ruler of these lands.
He hisses and he says, "That foul descendant of ooh." And Shin, roll me a charisma save.
A charisma
That's-
save?
Yes,
That's
correct.
better than a con save. There you go,
Yay.
buddy.
Yeah,
You
roll double
pass
digits.
through. It's difficult terrain to pass through for you, but it doesn't stop you from moving. And Gylastus says, she is merely leading a rebellion. These rebel forces will be subdued in time. And they have terrible designs upon proper Degorian culture. He will restore the proper relations. He
Who is
covets
we?
the land of the neighbors. Why, me and my allodial court, of course, when I am restored to the rightful rulership that I am owed.
Who is part of your court? I'm sorry, it looks like you're the only person here.
He says, why, of course, I am as the great heroes of old, Isosceles, on coast, running between the land, gathering strength, finding resources, meeting new and interesting people from lands not from here. And now I see comes an Anorak, your companion, I would wager.
Yes, companion.
Kibancho begins to hear. You guys stood to the south, see the movement, and if you stand in particular, you can see Glyasastus, but you don't understand what's being said. So Zion, Lonnie, Lumi looks at Lonnie like, what the fuck?
Are we taking drugs?
The machine of no name doesn't seem to have a digestive system. Yeah, so do you want to sup of are you doing?
Oh.
Are you going for it?
Are you gonna be part of the cool kids and take some drugs?
Lumi, do you want to go in, or would you rather just stay and stand watch?
Lumi gives you thinks like that depends. You're gonna get yourself killed.
I think that's a very difficult question with what I'm about to take. So
She growls and says, "Can't you just bash down their magics with yours? What's the use of all this power you have if you can't just use it?"
Damn.
yeah, I hear about magics that can like actually undo other magics. I don't have that.
I see what you're saying, but I can't do that. I understand.
So Lumi sort of pouts and
old Cabancho had that.
Lumi pouts
New
and
Cabancho doesn't.
Lumi pouts and says, "I'll stand watch."
Okay.
Zion. Yeah, so Zion and Lonnie, are either of you going for the paste?
I don't think Zaya can get poisoned, but Lonnie will just wait just in case.
Technically, it's not
No,
poison.
no. After you.
It's
Okay.
it's being polite, all right?
Lonnie
Ladies first.
will guidance just in case and take it, I guess. Just one dose. Just one dose.
So-
And then we're down to 6, and then we're down to so you're down to 5
Wait,
doses.
you're a medium creature.
No, Lonnie's
You think-
a small creature. Lonnie's a small creature.
Sorry, you're right.
Yeah, all right. So Lonnie, it's not enough to like potentially kill you. You do feel like thumping your chest, kind of woozy. You try and walk through the field.
Yeah.
Give me a charisma save.
I love how like none of us tried to just walk through the field without doing this.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, the
Is this
tablet
magical?
said-
We'll
the
see
tablets.
about that.
Yes, it's magical. So give me a charisma save with advantage. All right, so Zion, yeah, are you gonna eschew winners? Are you gonna say winners don't do drugs, Zion?
Zion, just walk through.
Winner don't do drugs. I like that.
I can try to send the machine through. See how that works.
The machine no games do completely unstopped, and Gylastus looks and says, "Wait, are you lately of Archimedes' company? I see a machine, metal walking on its own. You don't know Archimede?
Please.
Why, she is the greatest inventor in this or any age. Her machines are unrivaled." You did hear this name earlier from the vampire
Yeah, we did.
spawn. So Lonnie and Cabancho, hanging out in this field doesn't feel too good. Do you want to try and do it, or are you still walking?
No, I'm still walking. I don't know how.
Time works, yeah, fair. And,
Yeah, because you said I'm at
yeah.
what do you call it?
And this dude's pacing around on this upper, which I say, more companions, I see. And Zion, do you want to try and force your way through here?
And seeing the machine walk through, it assumes it can as well.
Make me a charisma save at disadvantage, Zion.
Zion,
What a
you are,
bold assumption.
you are more than a machine, though, Zion.
Zion, your body moves through fine, but around the time the center of your core gets up against it, you are rebuffed back.
I'm
You
gonna
take-
twist the fade this one too.
Okay, because there's about to be a consequence for this.
Does 11 do something?
Not enough. Zion, you suffer 8 force damage.
Oh.
Okay, could be worse.
And Gylastus says, that's interesting. The machine has been rebuffed, which says to me that it has something of soul. Curious. So, not from Archimedes. Oh, don't tell me. Blood magic?
Blood magic.
Well,
Yes, I have
he points and says, "What's moving the machine?"
How many
trial.
doses are left?
Tento's
Five doses remain.
just gonna like
Oh, here goes nothing.
Wait, how many? How did you say everything? What was
All
it?
5.
All right, so you
It'd be a waste.
absolutely shove.
You are going to ascend, my friend.
Zion shoves its faceplate into it and just snorts. Right?
I don't think this is how this is supposed to go.
This is
You
not
don't
how
see
drugs
this.
work.
You don't see this. No one sees this.
All right, so I assume
Lumi sees
I
this,
assume that
actually.
Lonnie, you step out of this blue light at some point.
Move, come on, Joe.
But you can just
Because
walk past me.
if you stay in that light, it starts to not feel so good. All right, so yeah.
Tento's gonna respond like, "Well, I'm assuming it's running on a power core."
Goss says, "Ah, yes, but I need more theoretical. Well, perhaps you're not the one to ask. Who built it? You know."
Yeah, my friend who should be coming through soon.
I see. Come, guests. I am Gylastus Mictros. He walks around, waving his hands, and says, "You've surely heard of me, Gylastus Mictros, last great ruler of this land before it fell into disuse, rebellion, and needless antagonism with her neighbors."
And the title got something a lot longer.
Of course, I have had to rest for some time, but then the most brilliant of women came by. Abrota Acalaris was her name. She gave me some of her blood. Woken thing. And now here I am, once again at my task. I have crept here, though it does me disservice to use such verbs to return to my own place. I have scoured the upper floors in the nights prior, and now I have finally come to the floors lower, to reclaim my birthright and my death right.
Okay.
Indeed. So now I would know what you are doing here. I am a Mictros, and this is my family's mausoleum. I am welcome to visit here any time. But one who comes to a stranger's mausoleum armed for war, glorious.
So, Abrota resurrected you?
Oh, well. She awoken me. I was slumbering.
Uh-huh.
I did
Which
not
one's
yet.
your room?
And he says, "Well,
Did you want to be awakened?
I would have been buried upstairs. All of these are taken. Oh, well, of course, of course. I just grew drowsy. I had great ponderances, deeds. And I found myself expired. But then she gave me her vital ichor, and once more I rose. Here I am."
Do we know when this person supposedly passed away?
Roll me a history check.
Oh gosh.
Talking about? He said he never died.
What happens when Zion takes the 5 doses?
Okay, so Zion takes the 5 doses, and there's a flash of genius, and also perhaps seeing the god that is not yet born. Forms move in forms, and your crystalline core, soul core, shakes and shudders at its bounds. Roll me a con save at disadvantage.
Is this trying to poison me?
It's trying to do
It's
something.
trying to do more than just poison you, but you are immune to being poisoned.
I have advantage
Yeah, we're
against saving.
Gain advantage on it, yes.
So you roll regular.
It's
wait,
just
yeah.
regular.
Alright, so
there you go,
Zion,
just need a regular.
Zion, you gain the effects of the spell haste for the next minute, and yeah, you feel like you're ready to go. You're ready to fucking go. Your every gear is like in overdrive. You're shaking. Yeah, you zoom. Zion gets the
Yeah.
zoomies.
Oh, I just see like a blur. What the fuck, Zion?
Gylastus wheels back and says, "My, so you have passed the barrier. You do have a soul. I am Gylastus Mictros, soon to be returned ruler of this land, rightful heir, and rightful ruler of House Mictros."
I rolled a 9, by the way.
You have a vague idea that, like, yeah, Mictros. You vaguely recall old people in
Oh no.
Actigoros being like, things were better back in the day when the Mictroses ran Ischydonian. Zion, you recognize the Mictroses. A few hundred years ago, their last ruler, Gylastus Mictros, got sealed inside of a crematoria alive in a city to the south of here, Xylaros. And now he's here. Very much, well, alive is one way to put it, but he's moving, that's for sure. But based on, like the drawings that you've seen in history books, this looks like the guy. Not only that, he's wearing the Mictros breastplate. He got a knockoff made, and he's a really good cosplayer. Maybe he's unless he's a really good cosplayer, this could actually be Gylastus.
Oh,
You know that he was overthrown by the Kirkoses. The Mictroses were noted for having more cordial relations with Actigoros.
Hmm.
Yeah, so he paces back and forth and says, "So, I see a company has arrived. A company of 1, 2, 3, 4. Are we counting the machine?" He points at Machine of No Name.
I don't see why not.
And a wolf outside. How fitting for an epic.
Wait. How do you know there's